Well, hello everybody, and I am back again with another show. This time it is the first ever Discord live stream. So I've managed to get Discord working. It was a problem on my end. It was a problem with the headphones. Apparently, I had to set them to a particular setting for them to work through Discord, and eventually, when I did that, everything seemed to work. So happy days, and we've got the Discord up and running, which is great. Okay, so we have got some panelists already, as I'm sure you can see on the right. But I just want to address a couple of people in the chat who asked how I'm doing. So just to let you know that I did go to the hospital today. First went into the walk-in centre to get the x-rays done. Anyway, I showed them some pictures which you saw last night, and before I had my bloods done, I was whisked into a room. This guy saw me and he said, I phoned up the hospital, you need to go to Ward 19, see a Dr. Khan there. And I duly did that. So I had the ultrasounds, etc., blood test done, and it turns out that I do have two hernias, not just one. I always do things in double, two hernias. So I got two hernias, and they also think that may not be the issue with the swallowing. You know what I've got, the problem with the swallowing. So I've got to go back to another department. They're going to send me to a form out to obviously go up for this appointment, have the camera down to see if they can see what's what with that. So that's the score that I know at the minute. I do need an operation on it, but they didn't do that today. Again, it's in the pipeline. I asked him how long will it be, and he just shrugged his shoulders. I guess with the coronavirus thing that's going on at the minute, they're not doing anything that's non-life threatening in that respect. So it could be a couple of weeks, it could be a couple of months, who knows. But that's all I know, and I did say that I'd tell you guys how things were. So that's that. Still no better, still in pain, but that's just life, isn't it? Right, okay, so let's do a few shout outs to some people we have in. We've got CrowXE, who's actually on the panel tonight. We've got Flat Tarn, Ian Adams, Logan's Running, Amanda Young, Morty Feed, Krishna Kumar, Good Servant. If you haven't already subscribed to Good Servant, perhaps head on over. He does live streams too and does interviews. Very good interviewer. Perhaps bring him on the show at some point. Jason McCormack, nice to see you in YouTube, and many more. Right, okay, so I'm going to post a link. This is the link to the Discord. So if you want to join and be a panelist tonight, I have room for up to 30. So all you have to do is click the link, and if you're a member of Discord, you can just join and jump right in and get to say hello to some of the panelists and ask some questions. So I'm going to post the link right now. Click it if you want to join. Right, okay, so we are joined by, we've got CrowXE, Cleary, Yossi Marcelo, and the other guy. Okay, how are you all doing?
Doing good. You finally fixed it, Ranty, I see.
I did. It took a little while, but I've managed to fix it. It was something to do with the headphone settings. I had to change it to default, so I had to go into the actual settings on my computer, change it to the default, and then suddenly Discord worked. So happy days.
Good stuff, and good to hear that you're doing well, and wish you the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Everyone else, who have we got in? Cleary, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing good. Shout out to Jason McCormack, Concave, man. Unga bunga.
Keep it concave.
Yep.
CrowXE?
Yeah, hello.
Hello, yeah. Good, doing a mic check.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. Thanks for joining. Yossi, how's it doing?
Everything is just fine, thank you. How are you doing? All good?
Yeah, not bad. Like I say, I've taken my medication now. I've took the cocodamol, so I'm flying quite high at the minute. So that's always good.
Yeah.
Keeps the pain at bay, I tell you.
Maybe you will see the curve.
I saw enough curve when I had those images taken from the side. It was quite funny actually. I'd never seen my stomach from the side, this lump, and somebody messaged me and said, "Oh, can you send me an image of it from the side?" So I got the missus to take the image from the side. Oh, and that's when I was like, yeah, that is quite nasty. Looks like I'm 9 months pregnant, actually, because I've only ever seen it from the top down, so it's like been a bulge, but I've never seen it from the side, and it did look nasty, didn't it? So, yeah, that's the only curvature I've found recently.
It looks scary, bro, I tell you.
So, have you got any glow proofs? Any glow proofs? Anybody?
I prefer it.
Say what now? Try again there, CrowXE. You might have dropped there, mate. We can't hear you.
So far, I hear only excuses.
Right, okay, sound level low on the guests, right, okay, because I have been adjusting that. So, as I say, this is the first time on Discord for me. So I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll put them back up to 100%. That's everybody.
Mic check.
Hey, hey.
Hello, what ho?
Hey.
Yes.
Hey, Travis.
Hey,
What's up,
SE, how you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, there's SE. He was talking
Try
about he was able
to jump
recreate
out
the
and come again.
penumbra.
Say again, Cleary?
Said SE's here. He was telling me earlier that he was able to recreate the penumbra, or the umbra, in a observation, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah. You can do it. It has to be the right conditions. Like you need like a flashlight and a ball. Take whatever you want, and you have to. Almost like a magnifying effect. Like you have to get it just right.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Did you make a video or anything?
Actually, no. There's plenty of videos like that on YouTube.
Well, you can't always trust videos, man.
Okay, you know what? I'm
Yeah.
gonna make one and I'm gonna post it in the few next coming days.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
Funny you mentioned that because the first video I ever posted about a year ago was I took a softball and I went outside and I tried to recreate the umbra and I wasn't successful with the sun. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, because there's a flood of light all around, right? And you can't
Yeah.
can't keep it from minimizing your object's shadow. So you have to,
Exactly,
like,
but
isolate it in like a black barrel, like a black trash can kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
But under the right conditions, you can do it. You'll see the umbra and then you'll see the penumbra. So it actually gets smaller and bigger at the same time if you wanna put it that way.
Yeah, like a sunset.
Yeah, like Ranty's
Getting
beautiful.
smaller and
Oh
it's-
man. Ranty, what you
Yeah.
showed yesterday, bro, that's golden.
Which part was the part that you enjoyed?
The part where it shows like the half moon on the horizon, and the part on top where you say, look at the actual sun.
Yep.
Like that blew me away when I saw that. It makes sense,
Yeah. Well, you're just seeing the glare. All you ever see is the glare set. You don't see the sunset. You just see the glare set. The sun as it goes further away. It's just the glare that's just being pulled down. It's just setting as it goes further away. It's just being dragged down due to refraction. So by the time that disappears, the sun's already out of your line of sight. You can't see it anymore.
Yep, a lot of people have said that, but bro, I think you're the first one that actually showed something concrete.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, like you can say,
looking through those,
yeah,
looking through those double filters, that you had that footage of, it really made the sun look less like something with any real circumference at all. It looked like more like just a light, like a source, like a little speck. And we just get flooded with some huge refracted object. I don't know. Just what I saw.
You know what else I was thinking, Ranty, while you were saying that? The not actual position. Also, I was thinking, wait a minute. They claim that the light from the sun takes 8 minutes to get there. So, I don't know if anybody has talked about this before, but added to the refraction, we can also say what you're seeing there ain't there. See what I'm saying?
What you're seeing is a mirage.
What we're seeing there is 8 minutes. You know what I'm saying? In the past or in the future.
No. That's the Helio model.
That's their La La Land model. But I'm just adding, because as Ranty was saying that, I go, wait a minute, there's an addition here to the refraction. We have to add the time that it takes to get here, right? So it's not actually there on top of being refracted.
Do a mic check there. Right at the hand. How's it going?
Hey, what up? Sorry, I'm cooking, so just can listen for a little.
That is East the Doctor, not Right the Hand.
Oh, he's the doctor.
No, it's him. He was killing it before on Gem's server.
Did Gem server, does he stream live still? Does the live streams through his Discord?
Yeah, he does it. I think. I'm sure. I know he does it on Sundays.
Hmm.
He does a YouTube live stream on Sundays, I believe. Yeah.
No, I mean I've seen him. I have actually seen that he's started to do his live streams when people are talking in Discord. So he's just leaving it running in the background, so you can listen to the conversations.
Right. Yes.
You might as well. It's dead chat otherwise, isn't it? Just going to.
Hey, do you guys know how to change the font for your name? Like, how do you get different font?
It is one online application. You go to a server where they generate the font for you, and then you copy it in Discord.
Okay.
Oh, right. Let me shout out to Aaron Armstrong, who gave a super chat. He says, can you recap about your condition, please? Okay, so basically, I have 2 hernias, and I'm waiting to have a camera down to go down into the stomach to check what the blockage is there, what's the reason why I can't swallow any food, why it gets stuck, etc. But yeah, 2 hernias, so they're going to operate on them at some point. It's in the pipeline. And again, the camera from a different department, that's in the pipeline too. So I've just got to wait for the appointments basically. So no further forward, nothing was done apart from finding out what it was. That's as much as I know. So
Two hernias. You can name one sleeping and the other warrior.
yeah, which is the fattest one though?
I can say that now because I've lost 75 pounds. So.
You've lost 75 pounds. Wow. I've put on 3 stone, and the doctor said there's a lot of that'll be, because there's fat going into through your hernia or something. I was like, what? He said, yeah. He says that's. So I'm like, oh right, okay. So he says you'll probably.
In American, that's 42 pounds, right? 14.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, 14 pounds per stone.
Yes. I don't like.
Stress will probably do that to you, won't it? Did you ask the doctors what would cause something like that?
No. I think mainly it would be working with ladders and stuff, because, painter and decorator carrying heavy ladders, up and down ladders all day, bending over, picking up, 10-litre tubs of paint all the time. Eventually it's going to wear you out, isn't it? So I'd put it down to that.
Yeah.
Be different if I worked in an office, because then they'd be like, well, how the hell did I get that? But that's basically me out of work now, though, for a while, because I can't do anything till I get this operation and get it all fixed up.
Well, that'll work out good for us. We'll have plenty of shows coming up, won't we, every day?
Yeah, I guess so. I'll have more time to do the show, so why not? It's better than not doing a show. Aaron Armstrong, I'm glad you're getting somewhere at least. thank you very much for the kind words. And Aaron's a nurse, by the way, in case you didn't know, so you're sort of like familiar with that kind of stuff. Right, okay. What's this? Let's put the Discord link in again. So if any Glober wants to join and have a little chat with us, we're not going to jump down your throat. Just jump in. You might as well try it. Discord, maybe you just want to say hello. We're all here. Give it a try. Sean Hawkins reckons that you should push in on it really slow and let go really quickly. It feels great. Yeah, I'm sure it does. Listen, the only time that ever happened to me was when I had my appendix and it was ruptured, right? I was young, I was about 15 years of age, and I'd had a ruptured appendix. And then the pain stopped. I was watching the first half of the England football match, and I remember at the start of the match, the pain went. I was in the hospital waiting to have an operation on it, emergency and I'm like, oh, pain's gone. They're going to operate on me and there's nothing, I don't actually have anything wrong with me. And so I watched the full first half, 45 minutes, called the nurse over at half time and said, excuse me, I said, you're going to be operating on me and there's nothing wrong with me. He says, well, what do you mean? I says, well, I've got no pain. The pain stopped. She says, well, how long ago did the pain stop? I said, about 45 minutes ago. She grabbed a hold of me and she flung me down the aisle, to my bed. I'm dragging this trolley along with me, with all the drips on it and everything. She's rushing down. She threw me on the bed. The doctors were around the bed within 2 minutes, and that's what they did. This doctor came over. He pushed ever so slowly down in the area, and I'm like, yeah, mate, yeah, you're not going to feel anything because I'm not, I'm not in any pain. Yeah, you're not going to feel anything. Pushed right in, and then he let go dead quick. Fuck me. Oh my God, I jumped about 20 feet in the sky. I was like, ah! So yeah, within 5 minutes I was in surgery. Yeah, it was that bad because they reckon within an hour peritonitis can set in and fuck all your organs up. So I suppose it was quite kind of lucky that I decided not to watch the second half and tell the nurse at half time.
So what precipitates a hernia? How did it happen?
My sister decided to jump on me from the window ledge. I was lying on the couch watching TV, lying on my back on the couch. She had clambered up onto the windowsill. She was younger than me and decided to jump off the windowsill and landed smack bang in my stomach with full force.
So she's 4 years old.
No, she's not 4 years old. She would have been 14. Yeah, 14 years old. We were nuts.
Oh, okay. I was being a little bit funny because I thought you meant like right now. So this happened, what, 20 years ago?
Yeah, well, this happened when I was 15. Yeah, so I was 15. She was 14. And
okay.
Yeah, she decided to jump on me off the windowsill. No word of a lie.
Okay.
And yeah. So I went to the doctors. Well, I was in agony all night. Agony, absolute agony. And next day, my mum says, you're not staying off school. She never let me stay off school ever. And I'm like, I cannot go to school. Just cannot go. Well, she's like, okay, well, you are having the day off, but you're gonna suffer for this or whatever. No way you have days off school. You need your education. Anyway, she says, I'm gonna phone the doctor up, get him to come out. So, hang on, I'm distracting you. The doctor came out at 4 o'clock in the morning, that was right, and he gave my mum a prescription for some tablets. So I was waiting for 9 o'clock to come around so she could go and get these prescriptions made up. And I was counting down the minutes. It was that bad, literally counting down the minutes. Go to the shop, get these medication. So she got the medication, tried it, hour later, I was still in agony. So she said, well, if I have to phone the doctors again and there's nothing wrong with you, you're in for it, like, right, okay. So she pretended to go out of the house. So she closed the living room door, she closed the front door, and really she was just listening at the living room door to see if I was still crying. Because I was in absolute agony. And yeah, that's when she decided, right, okay, well, I will phone the ambulance. So ambulance came, took me up, and the nurse said to, well, it was a doctor, it was a female doctor, she said to me, have you had any heavy weights on you? so
So
I
your
just,
sister landed on you. Would you consider that a relative density?
I would say that density and buoyancy, it was put to the test there for sure. And yeah, absolutely, heavyweight versus small appendix. I think the heavyweight won. So
The buoyancy of your
Relative.
stomach was not enough.
yes, it was definitely wasn't enough.
Oh, you're all wrong. It's the 9.8 meters per second square. Sorry.
Oh, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wish that pain. I wouldn't wish that pain on anybody. If anyone's ever had a ruptured appendix, oh yeah, I mean that's proper 10 out of 10
I don't think you
pain.
guys got my relative joke.
We got it.
Relative density. Okay, it just wasn't.
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah. No, we all heard it, Cleary. We all heard it.
All right.
Right, so let's get into this. So laser test. Now, Brian Leakey did a laser test. What did you guys think of that? Personally, I thought it was a great example, a great test to be done. The Globers aren't happy because they're saying it's not the sun. What do you guys say?
I got one thing to say. Laser through a cussing, smurfing fish tank with sugar water. Daylight isn't laser light. So now they're playing that card?
Yep.
Wow.
It wasn't about the refraction, Travis.
What's that?
Brian was trying to simulate the eclipse, not refraction.
Okay, that's not my point. Listen very closely, Khalid.
Yeah, listen closely. Yeah.
Laser light is not ambient daylight. It's not the same. It doesn't matter about refraction. You can't shine a laser through a static, okay? The atmosphere is not static, especially not above the water. Who knows how high it goes before it becomes static? I don't think it does. Anyway, I'm not coming down on you, Khalid. I'm attacking the system, okay? So, you can't point a laser through a fish tank in static water and watch it bend and then claim that daylight does the same thing. Can't do it.
Exactly, because here's the thing. It's a laser light to them is all well and good to mimic the light source of the sun, right? Or light source ambient light on Earth. It's all right and fine and dandy when it appears to back their argument. As soon as you do an experiment or a test that shows that the shadow that was cast off that ball that was mimicking the eclipse didn't change size using a laser pen or a laser, suddenly then that light source is no longer valid. It's not a usable thing because it's not the sun. You need to use the sun. You can't use a laser, It's like cherry picking. It's all right for one thing to test in a fish tank, but it's not all right to test if you're going to test the size of the shadow.
Well, the source of that region is the angular size of the light source.
Was that all it was? Because right, okay. Because here's the thing, right? That laser that was shone onto the ball, right, was definitely smaller. So the laser was smaller, the ball was bigger. So obviously, if you were going to do it the other way around, you would have a bigger laser and a smaller ball to mimic the size of the sun shining on the moon. The problem was that it didn't make a blind bit of difference because that shadow did not change one iota. It didn't change in size at all. No matter how far he went away from the wall, he walked 20, 30 meters away from the wall, right? And it still didn't change size. Now, if it was a bigger laser or a smaller laser, that wouldn't have made any difference because you already had it. With the smaller laser, it didn't change size. So a bigger laser wouldn't have made any difference either. I mean, there's still more work to be done, but I don't agree that argument's valid.
To be fair, Ranty, I'm not sure laser light is the best thing to use.
If it's something that fly the globe, so let's do like.
Yeah, your connection's pretty poor at the minute.
Of light doing this bend, I can.
Crow, you're like a robot.
Yeah, we didn't hear most of that, Crow. You were roboting a little bit there.
Ranty, did you see what I posted in the side chat in the Discord?
Ooh, here we go. So you've tested me now to use Discord in the side chat. Okay, hang on.
In general.
Oh, in general, right? Okay, let's have a look. See. Okay, so which one are we looking at? The
picture
size
of the Umbra.
Yeah, I see it. Do you want me to present that?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay. Let me save the image as save it to downloads. That's fine.
Sorry to put you on the spot. I know it's your first time.
That's fine. Open with photos. Here we go. So right, okay. So I'm presenting it for the audience. How do I present it to you guys? Let's see. Discord. Let's see. So I go to the show channel. Just bear with me, guys, because this is the first time that I've used this. So share your screen. Oh, and then it gets me to share screen, photos. Do you press go live to actually share your screen?
I'm not sure, Ranty. I wish I could answer. I'm new to this too, Discord.
There you go. How's that? Can you?
I think you got it.
There you go. So if you see me, so okay. So we're presenting this shadow on the Earth, right? Okay. So where was this taken from? Do you know?
I'm not entirely sure. I think it was from the space station. Don't quote me on this. I'm not entirely sure. I know it's very up high and it's supposed to be a real picture.
Okay. So do you think it's easy enough to actually, take this image and manipulate it?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. But this is what they present as the Umbra. So now the first thing right away that you notice here, the issue is the penumbra.
Yeah.
Look how small it is.
yeah. Where is it? Where is the penumbra?
Yeah, where is it?
Exactly. That doesn't follow with their diagrams.
Exactly.
Do you think they question this?
Oh, I'm sure they have some answer. I'm sure they have some answer for this.
Another excuse. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Not
press
excuse,
release.
not
They never
ex-
question it.
just an explanation.
Okay, let me just address Brian because he's just tried to call. So if Brian Leak's obviously around right now, so I'm gonna post the Discord link. If you want to click that link, Brian, and you want to join the panel here tonight, I'm trying it on Discord rather than Skype. So if you want to click that link, hopefully it should just bring you straight into Discord, and that's for anybody else that wants to actually just hop on and have a chat. If they've got something to say about this particular image, we're all ears. We are all ears. Okay, so back to the image, right? Okay, so this is apparently, well, yeah. So there's the Umbra, obviously probably the darkest point. The penumbra is what, the same sort of width, roughly, but it's tiny, isn't it?
Very tiny.
Now, to be fair, they did model this. I mean, they came in. I think it was what was he called? Billy Balls or something. Right. Blue Marble Science came in and he modelled it. That was it. And it did give this effect where you could have a very small shadow on the Earth with the moon, and then when you flip it around, it would be big enough. The shadow would be big enough from the Earth to actually eclipse the moon. So I was impressed that they came on and presented that, because it was pretty. Once you saw it, it was pretty undeniable that their mathematics worked. Do you know what I mean? Their mathematics works. But
Mathematics, yes, but I want to see a demonstration of it.
yeah, exactly.
Because does this look like 70 miles wide, this Umbra, to you?
No, I'm looking for another image actually, because somebody.
There's plenty of them. Just YouTube, Google Umbra pictures from
Yeah.
space. I think I googled, and you'll see dozens of them.
Okay, I have a question then. If this is, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, if these are CGI, then why don't they make it match the reality? To make it a tiny black dot?
Who said this is CGI?
Because this is from a satellite.
We're saying what they are saying. We're playing in their arena right now. They show this as proof. Look, Umbra.
Yes, and what I'm saying, why when they show an image from a supposed satellite, why don't they make it match reality? Make it a small size. If it's CGI, it's gonna be a small dot and it tells you just zoom in and you can see the 70 miles.
That's a good question.
How high would you have to be up there to see the curve of the Earth? I thought Neil deGrasse Tyson said that you wouldn't see the curve 2 millimeters above a beach ball. That thing must be really, really high.
Well, here you go. Here's another image, apparently, of the same one. Now, I've got this. Look how big that is.
Oh, where's that?
Can you see?
I think he went back to the other end.
You guys can see this, surely. Yeah? Can you see that I've changed images? Hello?
Yes, we have to click.
Yes,
your
I
thumb.
see it. I see it, Randy.
Okay, so can you see the size of this one? This is like
Yep.
probably a fifth of the diameter. This is about a fifth of the diameter. And yet the one you showed is far smaller. Now, this one was put out a couple of days ago. This was, let me see where I found it. So you can get it from space.com. So this is on space.com. And look at the size of this. It's measurably bigger.
Are you saying these are two different images from different days?
The same eclipse. So the eclipse that you showed, hang on,
Right.
let me minimize it. This one, where you've got a relatively small one in comparison, you can tell it's tiny, it's a pinprick. When you compare it to the one I've just showed, you know, this one, this is ginormous compared to that one. So this one's
it looks
from
almost like a different eclipse. Yeah.
Hmm?
Have a look at the clouds, Randy.
Oh, it's the pixel. It's not that clear to actually to see. Oh, you mean it looks like a face, eyes, nose, a moustache. It's Travis. And there's his mouth. Travis is on here. The plain truth. What are you doing on space.com?
I'm just listening. I wasn't watching.
Oh, you missed it. You'll have to play it back and watch it another time then.
Okay. All right.
We're having a dig at you, bro.
That's all right.
No, we weren't. Right, so how do I so stop streaming, stop streaming, there we go, right, okay. Right, okay, so has anybody else joined? Who else have we got in? Nobody else has joined. Brian Leake, what's he said? Says the link is expired. Oh, right, okay. Let me get a new link then to join this. Right, 1 second, guys.
You know what'd be cool for Brian, because he went through a lot of effort, kudos to him, to do the same experiment but use light, a powerful, like one of your flashlights there, Ranty.
All right, yeah.
Recreate it like that, yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Who's that?
That was Travis.
Is he paying his toll?
He just got mugged.
Mic check?
Mic check, is that you, Crow?
Yeah. Better?
We can hear you. Let me just put your volume up a little bit. Speak again.
How about now?
Yeah, I'll pop you up. 1 sec. Right, there we go. Perfect. Oh, the Rumpus has joined. Hello, hello.
He can't hear us.
No, he's muted and he's deafened.
Yeah.
You have to unmute yourself and undeafen yourself there, the Rumpus.
He just wants to make his presence felt.
He's got a sheep on there as well. That's very apt. Hansel's.
Not himself.
Hansel's, how's it going? Right, okay. Right, Rumpus. Hello.
I have joined.
Yes, you have joined. Yes.
Yeah, so I just happened to catch. You were showing an image of two eclipses. They didn't look as though they were from the same thing at all. They looked like two completely different pictures. Two completely different eclipses.
Well, one was from space.com and one was from. Who's that noise in the background? Have we got a bit? Who's got the mic open there? Is it you, Crow?
No. Someone is smoking hubbly bubbly, not me.
Well, how can you have that one of those pictures had the moon in the foreground. So what the hell was that taken by? It certainly wasn't taken by the same thing as the other image.
No, it wasn't. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter. Who's making that damn noise?
Travis, stop that hubbly bubbly.
Yes, it's Travis.
I'll put him right down. There we go.
He's still doing it. You need to mute him.
Yeah.
He's tapping away on the microphone for some reason.
Right, I've muted him. Happy days. Right, okay,
You
so
haven't muted him. He's still not muted.
he's muted, Rumpus.
No, he's not. I can still hear him, and he's not muted on the.
There's a big red
I've
line.
muted him.
There's a big red line. Yes, he is. Everyone can see it. The big red line through the middle. You're lying,
I'm
Rumpus.
looking at it now, and it's not there.
Are you hearing him?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear him also.
Yeah,
We
we
can
can
all
hear
hear
him.
him.
He's right.
Also.
Oh, right, okay. Maybe it's just me that can't hear him then.
Yeah, you've muted
You
him
did a
on your
local mute.
system, yeah.
Yeah, you did a local mute. You got to server mute him.
How do you use... Right, hang on, let me find... server mute. Right, got him. Boom. Right, happy days. There we go. How's that? Right, wonderful.
Much better.
Right. Okay, so, Rumpus, it doesn't matter where you take the image from. If you took it from the moon, or you took it from the sun, or you took it from the next galaxy, as long as you can see the Earth and you see the shadow,
But
you'll
it
still
looks in a
get...
different place.
It doesn't matter, Rumpus.
No, not. It's also not only is it taken from a different place, the actual eclipse looks like it's in a different place. It doesn't look like the same eclipse.
Oh, do you get different size eclipse, Rumpus?
It's not got the same part of the Earth. You can clearly see in the image that you've the moon one that it's in one place, and the other one. I mean, it does. I mean, the eclipse moves around, of course, but
So how did
You
it...
can easily tell, Rumpus.
what are you
We
trying
can
to
check
prove?
the
What are you trying
clouds.
to prove with these pictures? Anyway, there's
Check the
pictures of-
clouds, Randy.
Yeah, just don't get too triggered there, Rumpus. We're only showing the site. We're only showing that on two. We've got space.com and we have NASA, and we have NASA providing one image that shows a pinprick of a shadow, and then on a space.com one we have a shadow that's about a fifth of the diameter of the Earth.
Well, that
Clear-
includes the penumbra, didn't it?
So did the
Hey, can I get
space.com
a
one.
mic?
This works at all, do you?
So did space.com,
Oh my
Rumpus.
God.
Hang on, let me share my
That
screen
was a
again.
tiny proportion of the surface of the Earth. That was much closer in. You were talking gibberish.
Okay, well, hang on, just 1 second then, Rumpus. Rumpy Pumpy.
Oh, what am I supposed to have the bloody YouTube thing on? God, this is useless.
A YouTube thing on. No, I'm going to share my screen right now. So if you bear with me.
Oh, okay. So how can I see? Right, so see it in Discord, can I?
Hey, can I get
if
a
you
mic check?
watch in Discord, yeah? Yeah. Mic check's coming through good.
All right, just
Oh,
to
I
let
see.
you know, I got a million pictures of umbras with no penumbra. I'll present here.
Okay, so Rumpus, can you, in this image here, can you tell me where the penumbra is, please?
Well, I would say that the Umbra is probably about. I mean, if you want to put your pointer somewhere, I'll try and
Yeah.
say what the end of the penumbra is.
So-
If you put your, so obviously the Umbra's in there, and I would guess that something like 1/3 or 1/4 of the width of that is the Umbra, and the rest of it is a gradually decreasing penumbra. It's difficult to tell.
Okay, so all this darkened area though is the entirety of the eclipse, the penumbra and the umbra. This
Well, it's probably
this-
even a bit more, because it's going to fade to almost nothing. It's
Yeah.
going to be very gradual, so it probably extends out a bit further than it actually looks as though it does, which is what you'd
But
expect.
still, you would also agree that in relation to the actual scale of the Earth here, this, even if you made it half the size of this image, it would still only be a pinprick on the surface of the Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, that the image, the clips you're showing at the moment. That yes, I mean, if you took a circle, if I was to get that out and grab it out and put a circle on around where I can see the curve,
Yeah.
then
That would be tiny.
It'll be a small, it'll be small affair, yeah.
Okay, and then when you
But
look
don't
at
forget, the eclipses do change dramatically in size from one eclipse to another. So if you've got different eclipses,
okay, and then you look at this one here, and you can see that if you probably took that circle out there, the umbra penumbra, and then you scaled it across, you'd probably get 5 of them across the Earth in a diameter. So clearly,
hold on, you're showing the right screen here. You're showing the zoomed in one at the moment.
Yeah.
Are you referring to the moon one?
the moon one that we can see the Earth from, yes.
No, we can't see the moon one at the moment. If that's the one you're referring to, we cannot see that at the moment.
What do you mean?
We're not looking at the one with the moon in the picture, if that's what you're referring to.
Guys, can you see moon at the bottom and a very small Earth in the background?
No, we can't.
I cannot.
Okay, right.
We see
so,
the Umbra picture.
all right, okay. So just bear with me, and I need to reshare them. Okay, so share your screen. Boom. Go live. Right. Okay, so you should be able to see this now.
Now we see it.
Okay, so this is from space.com. It was put out a couple of days ago. And as you can see, you've got the umbra penumbra of the eclipse here, and I'm going to suggest or say that you probably get 5 of them next to, maybe 5.5, if you put them side by side across the width of the diameter of the. Yes, you would.
More than that.
Does that look like 70 miles?
But yeah, but 70 miles is the size of the Umbra. That is obviously the penumbra as well.
Why obviously it looks like an Umbra to me, Rumpus?
Well, I mean, it's obviously not, because you can't see it. It seems to be sort of Umbra and then nothing, which is not the way it works. I mean, the trouble is the resolution is so low, it's difficult to work out what the hell's going on. So I'm presuming, because of it's being compressed, as in it's reduced in size or something, it's low resolution. We're just getting our penumbras and mumbras mixed up. So that could be the size of the penumbra we're looking at, which would be correct. The penumbra can be quite big.
That's stretching there, Rumpus. To me, it looks like an Umbra from here.
Yeah, but the picture's so bad, it's difficult to say. I mean, if that was that's certainly too big to be the Umbra. I would accept that. But
Okay.
I think the picture's so low resolution, we can barely
can
make
work with
out what the hell's going on here. So it's so poor.
Well, the way it
Don't we have a high-res version of this thing? Surely they must have had a high-res version. I suppose, is this taken from the Discover or something?
Hold on.
The Epic camera on the Discover.
Hold on.
And that's
Right.
presumably why the moon's in the picture.
Hold
It's the
on.
only way you can get that effect is by. So it's a very distant photo, a very distant image using.
At least you made an honest statement, Rumpus. That it
I always
looks.
make an honest statement every single time.
Don't stretch it. No, come on.
No, well, you're a moron if you think otherwise.
I see. I was wondering how long it would take for the first moron.
And your expectations.
Oh yes, you never cease to amaze. Rumpus.
Okay, this is a high definition one. So is that any better for you?
It's a bit better, right? It's still a bit super blurry.
I couldn't figure out how to send that, but I emailed you a bunch of pictures of Umbras.
And what are these white?
So it's more clear there, Rumpus. Your Umbra. You can see it a little bit
Yeah,
more.
you can see it's a bit more penumbra-y. Yeah. So
Yeah, penumbra-y, but not how it should be, right?
Well, yeah, but I've just established. I mean, you claimed it was all Umbra. Now we've established that it isn't from looking at it now. So I was right about that. Now the question is, if it's still low resolution. So if we got more resolution, it would be more penumbra-y than umbra-y.
More penumbra.
Because it's already become more penumbra than it was, and I guarantee that if you increase the resolution, it will become more and more penumbra-y.
Okay, hey Ranty, I don't know if you heard me, but I couldn't present, but I emailed you a bunch of pictures of Umbras. I don't know if you could pull it. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
Hey Brian,
Well,
good job, man.
Well, before we skip away from this, because I feel like it's one of those moments where we could just gloss over this and move on. We've just made a point and we've not got any resolution here. But the other image that we showed was a very, very small circle compared to this.
Correct, and this works against Rumpus's favor because the Umbra is even bigger here, Rumpus.
Well, I know this picture, I'm afraid, is just so low resolution. It's difficult to work out what the hell's going on. The one you're currently sharing, the one with the moon in the picture.
That looks like the size of a few countries there to me.
Yeah, but we've already established. You claimed before it was all Umbra. Now we've got a slightly higher resolution first. We've now reduced the size of the Umbra, and if we got a better resolution, it would happen again. This is a low resolution picture. I mean, it's almost out of focus as well, isn't it? I mean, the moon's out of focus. I mean,
it's hard to focus things from the moon, Rumpus. If you've ever been, right, it's really tricky.
It's not from the moon. This is not from the moon.
Is it not from the moon?
Epic camera. It's not from the moon. It's from the Epic camera because we don't have anything on the moon that's taking pictures like this.
It's hard to focus when you're this far away.
What are you claiming this is taken by, Ranty?
I'm not claiming anything. Don't disturb. Don't hold on. This isn't going to turn into where the image was taken from. This is not going to distract. This is not going. This is not going to distract from the point at hand. Right, I know you want to change the subject, and you want to try and. I know you want to change the subject. Let's go back to the original point. The original point.
Like it was taken from the moon.
I see the moon here, Rumpus.
Yes, because it's a zoomed-in version from the Epic camera on the Discover satellite.
That's why it's not in focus, Rumpus. It's hard to focus from this distance.
Right, so it is, but you said that in a jokey way.
You
were saying,
I'm sorry for having a joke. It is my show.
So now you're saying it's true.
Okay, so let's see. Hold on. Seeing that you're on.
Obfuscate, Rumpus.
I'm
not.
Seeing
he
this.
joked that it was difficult to focus on the moon, implying
right, please.
And now he's saying it is difficult.
Right, nobody speak to the Rumpus again until he gets to this point. The point being that this shadow is perhaps 5, maybe even 10 times bigger than the one that was shown before from NASA.
I've explained to you that this is low resolution, and we've already reduced its size by having a higher resolution image, and if it was higher still and in focus, it would be smaller still.
Would it change the colours if it was in focus? Would it change the colours and the spherical nature of the shadow?
It's blurred.
Would it change?
That shit's fake as hell, man. That shit's fake as hell.
Photography. Jesus Christ.
Why is it so big?
So
because it is blurred. Really good.
Does not compute.
Rumpus, my ear almost came off, man. Chill out, bro.
Blurred. It's a blurry.
This son of a bitch's brain shuts down when something doesn't go with his narrative.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. How many times do I have to say?
So, even though it's blurred, you're telling me you cannot even remotely guess how big that shadow is?
It's too blurry to make any definitive decision.
It's about 2 Mexicos.
Superficially,
it's fucking fake.
Superficially, it doesn't look the right size, but it's so blurry that it could well be underneath all that blur.
Listen, stupid, it's fucking fake, dude.
So blurry makes something bigger. I gotta remember that when I'm sending. I gotta remember that when I'm sending my when I send my special pictures.
Go and blur something. Go and take a picture of something. Make it out of focus, and you will see. If you knew anything about convolution and the way lenses work when they're out of focus, you would understand it would make things bigger. It'd also make them less dark, less. You know, they wouldn't be so precise, or less bright, or less dark, whichever contrasty effect you get. And it increases the size of it.
I have a different explanation.
God, you're such a duck, dude. Unfucking believable duck.
Oh, you don't understand anything about anything, do you? Jesus Christ.
Well, who says that this dark spot is the Umbra? Says who?
Well,
Oh
Randy
my
was
God,
claiming-
dude. I say
Randy
it's
was
fake,
claiming
but
that.
look, they're depicting what it's supposed to look like. Nothing about that is reality or right, even if it was. Okay, just
Hey,
submit.
Mic check, mic
That-
check.
just
Can you guys hear
submit
me?
that the satellite
Mic
images
check.
are bullshit.
Mic check. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can
I
hear
hear you,
you.
Travis.
Yeah.
So, my question? Any answer?
What's the question?
Yeah, we were being.
Who said that this dark spot is the Umbra?
Ranty did. And then SE Montreal said so as well.
Okay, so is that dark spot a 100% dark spot? Not 99, not 95 dark percent?
Can barely hear you, bro.
Yeah, you're a bit quiet, Crow.
I'm saying that the Umbra is 100% darkness, and that is something that we cannot distinguish with our eyes on an image. We have to get a Photoshop editor to scan the colors.
And it's also such a blurry image. It's already screwing
Hey,
up. I don't know why
what-
you guys deal with blurry.
Hey,
and
what satellite?
I'm gonna send you a
what-
better,
what satellite is that
one.
supposed to be?
Hold on.
I
What
think-
satellite?
I'm
Yeah,
guessing because no one else has offered it. I believe that's a zoomed-in version from the Epic camera on the Discover satellite. But
Does
no
the
one
Epic-
else has provided any information other than that. But because it's got the moon in the picture, and because I know that it has to be, and because it's low resolution, I can imagine it's from the Discover, the Epic camera on the Discover satellite.
Does the Epic have a spotlight on it? Because it seems to be coming from behind the moon. Okay, if the Epic's out there in space and it's behind the moon, and wouldn't the sun have to be behind the moon? Would the moon even be lit like that? I don't know. Maybe so, but nothing about that shit's right, man. You won't never concede nothing, man. I mean,
Ranty, check.
you discredit all the shit you say, all the other shit you say, just because you make yourself look so stupid arguing this.
It's a horrible image.
I have a better one for you, Brian and Rumpus. Ranty, check general.
Okay.
You're gonna love this one.
Okie dokie. Right. Let's have a look. General. Ah. Oh. Okay. So. Right. Okay. We've got.
There's your penumbra.
We've got a few to check from there. Which one do you want me to go for? Wow.
The one with the dual, it shows the eclipse, and then it shows the penumbra on the bottom. 5:54 time.
Yeah. Okay. So the one with the moon eclipsed. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Right, okay.
It's a split. It has the
Yeah.
umbra on the bottom.
Okay. So.
Yeah, I mean the pictures that Phil Kao has posted, those are the classic eclipse pictures, and that's, you know, obviously most of that is the penumbra. In fact, I've got a similar diagram with that. The first picture that Phil Kao has posted at 22:49. That very same picture is one I've included in one of my things. Indeed, the umbra is actually quite substantially smaller than the size of that. It's most of that, you know, there's 80% of that is penumbra. But the penumbra is vast. I mean, you just go and look at the.
Anyway, I emailed some real pictures of umbras from high altitude planes and one from a balloon, and there's no fucking penumbra.
You see, actually, that
There is,
image
you just
there,
can't
in
see
fact,
it.
that Phil Kao image actually does suggest the one we were just looking at, that Discover one, is sort of valid. And you can see the penumbra, and that penumbra does get really quite big. It really does get quite big.
Oh right.
But you
Did
can
you see
there,
what
like,
Ranty
you can
presented,
see the cloud
Rumpus?
No, okay. So we're looking at this top image, are we?
Both. That's a close-up view, clear like you requested, of your umbra, the dark, and the penumbra at the edges there.
No
If I'm not
scale here, have
mistaken.
we? Yeah, but this is from a. This is presumably from a high altitude aeroplane, and we've got this black blob to the right. There's nothing, you know. That's not even. That's going to just be a few tens of miles. You know, hundreds of miles maximum. So there's no sense of scale in that.
Okay. What about this then?
Right.
There you go.
So there we are. So what you're seeing is this is much higher resolution than the one that we were looking at before. And indeed, so you can see how big the penumbra does get. But you can see from the clouds that are peeking through that the umbra itself is actually quite small. But the penumbra is massively. I mean, as I said, the penumbra is about what? Oh, it must be about sort of in terms of diameters, probably about 10 times the size of the umbra.
Okay, so obviously the umbra, I'm assuming, is the darkest area in the middle. That's more than 70 miles.
Well, it does vary. Sometimes umbras they vary.
No, Rumpus, don't start lying. They do not vary.
Started a sentence.
30 to 70 miles.
The umbras
shut up.
vary. The umbras vary from about as little as being 0 up to about 120 kilometers. I think the maximum size of an umbra on the equator is 120 kilometers. But when it goes in the higher latitudes, it gets bigger still. But it's, you know, so it can vary in size enormously. But it gets up to about
Enormously, like the size of a country?
Well, if you regard a country as being 150 kilometers across, then yes.
Come on, Rumpus, man.
Well,
Come
I'm
on. Be
working
honest with
hard.
yourself, dude.
I am being honest. You're just ignorant of the facts. The umbra
Hey, how do we
is big as
present?
150 kilometers.
Hey, can we present on Discord?
So you're telling me that's not bigger than 150 kilometers there?
Yes, the whole black bit is because that's penumbra.
No, just the middle part, Rumpus.
Well, okay,
Calm
you
down.
decide okay, you get Ranty to draw around the middle bit of it. We'll see. I've done the same thing on the diagram that I did for Eclipse. So I can...
Oh yeah, show us your diagram. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hang on. Just one thing before you actually do that. Just one thing before you actually do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna save this image. One sec.
Well, I can tell you how big. Yeah. Okay, because I think it's the same one that I've used in that diagram that I was showing you, the Eclipse one. That I used the zoomed in thing that I showed you when I was showing you my scale diagram of the solar system. It included that image, and I put in the umbra in it to scale.
Okay.
It's quite a lot smaller than you might think.
Okay, so let me reshare my screens again. I'm gonna have to get used to sharing this like so. Okay, so here we go, Rumpus. So Phil KO has just sent us a prediction of the penumbra size down here. Yeah, do you see?
Right, so there you are. You can see the penumbra
So this is
covering the whole half of the USA there.
this is for the American eclipse. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
can
then
you see the half? Can you see the half of the USA? The
Hold on.
portion of Canada's in the penumbra.
Hold on. So the dark area in the center. Okay. Now, where's the dark area in the center of this, Rumpus?
Yeah, that's our whole point. What you just said, Rumpus, you just killed yourself.
No, you didn't. You just misunderstood me, obviously. That big blob there is not 100% dark. That's just very dark. I mean, the shading they put in there. You're a twat, yes. The shading that you can see they put in there does not reflect the actual darkness they put in there, because otherwise it would obscure the map. I mean, what those bands are, I think they probably say 90%, 80%. Do they dark? I mean, you've made it too small to see now. That thing that you're showing us, zoom in. What are they saying those bands are in terms of darkness? I'll bet they're 90%.
They're not in percentages. They're just, you know, Nashville, St. Louis, Kansas, Omaha.
Well, okay, well, that's what you need to know, because they haven't drawn it in. What you're getting confused by is that
Nobody's getting confused,
You
Rumpus.
are getting confused because the
Nobody's getting confused. This is 70 miles. No, let me finish. This is 70 miles. The center, this dark area here, 70 miles across in diameter, and that is reality.
You're getting confused because you don't know how dark those bands are supposed to be, and you think in your little head that because it's dark in the picture, it should have the same darkness in the map. But they haven't done that because they don't want to obscure the map.
Okay, so going back to the original. Listen, I'm not gonna. No. I want to.
Bands are 80% dark.
I still want. I've still got your little toes to hold to the fire over this image here. So before we go, the last point, and then I'll let other people to take over because. Hang on, let me just share the screen here. So we're still going back to this image that NASA presented, Rumpus. So we're still going back to this. Now this is their image of reality, a very, 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 very small dark spot with essentially when you go a little bit further away, it's very light and bright. You know, there's no darkness, right? Now this is clearly different from the other. Absolutely 120,000% different.
Well, it's the.
Just say it. Just admit it, Rumpus, that it is different.
Just say it. Just say it looks different, man. That's it.
Different eclipses. I've just explained to you. Sometimes you don't get any eclipse at all. There's no umbra at all, and sometimes it goes as small. Well, in other words, goes to 0, and sometimes the penumbra is very large. The umbra can become 150 kilometers wide or 0 wide. These things change. If you haven't got the same eclipse in the two pictures, it's very difficult to compare. And also, we've got no sense of scale here on what's going on here. And I'll have to draw out what this would be. I mean, I could grab this and try and extend the circle and then find out what percentage that's covering. But the trouble is, nothing.
Yes, you do that, Rumpus. You do that. You go and create a circle with the outline that you've got here, so you can scale the circle, and then put that little dot on and see if it matches. See if it looks anything like the high definition image that I showed.
At the moment, we're looking at 2 different eclipses, aren't we? I do not believe these are the same.
Okay, so we've got someone that can do it live. 1 second. Let's stop sharing my screen. So, right, if whoever wanted to do that, fire away.
Yes, so I'll be happy to join from my laptop, which is very slow. So, but I'll try to explain. Okay?
Absolutely, no worries. You try and explain it.
Also removed the image, so I can't grab it.
Oh, right. So, in all that time, you didn't. Right. Okay. So, the image, right?
Is it better to grab it on YouTube? Perhaps I don't know whether the quality is better there than on here.
Just post it in Gossip if you can, or General.
Yeah, where is the? Yeah, let's just get the raw image from somewhere. Where's the raw image? I don't have to go. This is being processed by you and then Discord, then looks even crappy.
Okay, so I'll put it in Discord. How's that? So you can just get it from Discord.
Yeah, shove it in the general chat, whatever it is.
That's the best thing to do from now on, Ranty. If you have a picture, just post it in Discord, and they can grab it very easily.
Okay.
So, Phil, it'd be nice if Phil Ko told us what those bands are in the image that he posted, what they represent, what the level of penumbra. I mean, I suspect they're quite a lot darker in practice than they are, and that's what's confusing you. You think these little bands, they don't look very dark, therefore it looks very different. But in fact, you might find that those bands might be. Who knows?
Right, there you go, Rumpus. So you can grab that, and you can have a bash if you want. See if you can scale that.
Right, is that the full res? I mean, it's not a very big image. So there's not many pixels in this thing.
It's big enough to get a scale from.
Yeah, it's enough to. But yeah, it's just. I don't understand how you managed to get such poor images and.
Oh, it's so terrible. Oh.
Rumpus, a simple Google search. Umbra from space will get you dozens of pictures.
Yeah, but I wanted to use his. I mean, this is the subject discussion. I don't want to go off and get yet another third bloody eclipse and then confuse you.
Let me know if it...
Go ahead, Chrome. I'm busy beating my way over here.
Yeah, I'll just wait for it to start displaying. But anyway, so yeah, Rumpus, what did you think about the lasers that we used by Brian?
Do you see my screen?
We see it waiting to show. Yeah,
it's loading.
Yeah, your bandwidth might not be that good, to be fair. Post the link one more time to the Discord. Hang on.
I don't think it's working. Does anyone presenting?
Yeah, it's not going to work. I don't think. Croxy, maybe if you do it offline, you'll be able to do it and then just come and present the image that you've got, rather than try to do it live.
If it's just an image, post it in general. That'll work.
I can show you what.
Mic check one more time. Mic check.
Yep, mic check is good.
Thank you.
I'll just post this image rather than giving you a screen share. I've got that tendency to.
Okay, Rumpus, you saw Brian Leak do a laser shadow test. What did you think of that?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't watch the rest of that. When Paige, well, as I told you, my back was giving me complete agony that day, and then Paige kicked me out of the hangout.
Okay. Well, what happened? Brian, hold. Let me just tell you. So Brian did the laser. He shined it on a ball, and what do you know? It actually decreased in size and showed the umbra and the penumbra. So I guess you were right. So, what do you think of that?
Well, he used a laser, but hold on, a laser's small. You need something big. You need something with angular size. If he's used his little laser, that's going to be a small size. You'll get a diverging image.
Yeah, but he still gave a penumbra and an umbra. So does that sort of like?
Yeah, but the umbra won't be smaller than the object.
Why?
Because he used a laser.
Would it be? Okay, so would it be bigger then?
Yes, I'd imagine. I don't know what he did, but I imagine if he had a laser, he just used he's using a laser pointer, was he?
Yeah.
Right. Well, in which case, you would expect the umbra to be bigger than the object. With
Okay.
a large penumbra. Obviously, the penumbra would still be a lot bigger, but I'd imagine even the umbra would be bigger.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I kind of told a little Porky there. There was no change at all. There was no penumbra. There was just an umbra, and it didn't change size at all.
Well, there you go then. Yeah, stupid thing to do, isn't it? To use a laser. What an idiotic thing to do.
Hey, that's the best way I could get. That's the best way I could think of to get 90-degree rays.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't think very hard.
Claim.
Yeah, I know it's the best you could do, but your best.
Well, the laser. Listen, the laser was it was diffracted enough. It was diverged enough to engulf
Right, here we go,
the
Brian. I'll
blocking.
explain it again. You need a big light source like the sun that's got 0.5 angular size, not a small beam which is diverging. You get the exact opposite effect. Jesus Christ! My God, you're stupid.
Ranty, I'm sorry, I failed to.
I tried using the sun, and nobody accepted it. I tried.
Well, I would have accepted that.
Okay, well, I didn't get no fucking penumbra.
You've gone quiet on us.
Can you hear me there?
Oh my God.
Yes, we can. Dodo guy. Hello.
Dodo in the house. How you doing? And this is a question Brian will like as well. Rumpus. So when you talk about the sun and the moon's angular size measurement as 0.5 a degree, can I go out on a full moon, right, and measure that myself with easy to hand equipment? Do I just look point to the extremities on either side of the diameter of the moon and measure 0.5 degrees?
Yes.
The same thing with the sun, right?
Yes.
So we'll agree that it is a visual thing, and as the moon looks that size to us in the sky, it doesn't matter if it's on the horizon or above us, it always measured as the same. That's your position, right? There's no variation on that, ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if it gets right on the horizon, where you've got a bit of refraction, then you're going to confuse yourself. But if you just keep it above 10 degrees above the horizon, then yes, it will be always the same size.
I got a question. Okay,
and let me just to finish up that, Brian, would be because you've been talking about how the moon diminishes in size once you increase in altitude. It's far less, Rumpus. We've seen it as a black dot. It's far less the angular size of the moon or the sun that we would measure at ground level.
No, it remains exactly the same size during the period of a day.
That is insane. Let me ask this question before we take subject.
Let me just say, Brian, have you seen Ranty at the beginning of his last show?
No, I didn't. An hour-long. The size of the moon will remain exactly the same size through the period of the night.
Right now, how far do I got to be away from? Okay, I'm going to use the sun. Okay, I got options here. I can get up high. How far do I need to be with my scaled moon to get a penumbra effect that we see from the the scaled Earth. Because right now I can get about any distance I want, and the sun is way above the horizon. But I got I can get up high right now.
Okay, well,
110 is correct. You are correct, Brian.
You said I was wrong with the 110. Is this is this correct?
Yes, I was wrong, but I went to the calculations.
You're just blurting shit out. Okay, there, humble man.
Brian, don't interrupt him when he got
Rumpus, you need to
Brian, let Crow finish his sentence.
He's a humble man. You need to take a page out of that book.
Brian, let Crow finish his sentence. He's got 4 words in, and then you shut him up. Why not let him speak? Let him finish his sentence.
Okay.
Don't be so rude.
The delay here, man. Let me shut up. I'm trying to figure out if I got a delay. Let me fix my shit.
The retarded don't know when they're being rude.
Crow was in.
You should count yourself lucky that you're here at all, Brenda, Rumpus, and Crow, who are all in cooperation over the years.
You, and then you overtalked him.
Get off the hubris, right?
So let Crow finish his sentence.
I was simply
Rumpus,
admitting that
he don't need you to white knight.
Well, I do, because he's a bit quieter than I am.
I told him at 110. He said that was wrong. He was humbling himself.
Let him finish his
Shut the fuck up, dude! God damn, dude!
Let him finish.
Nobody can talk with you fucking talking, you jackass!
Let him finish.
Shut the fuck up and stay out of it, you fucking jackass!
Let Khaled finish.
Brian?
God, play the God I see you,
Discord, after all.
What did I tell you
Why are you
yesterday,
so
Brian?
rude?
Because you don't even know what's going on. You weren't there, so stay out of it.
Yeah, but you didn't let him answer.
Brian? Hello?
Yeah, thank you for humbling yourself, bro. He already answered, you dumbass. Listen, thank you for humbling yourself. I'm just telling Rumpus he should take a page out of that book.
Yeah.
So I was correct with the 110.
Yes, but
okay,
hold
good.
on.
Yeah, like I said, the mentally retarded don't know when they're violating social.
That's right. You're mentally retarded, Brenda. You're mentally retarded, Brenda. That's right.
I want to say something.
He's physically retarded. He's missing a penis.
Can we let Khaled finish his sentence?
Brian, I promised you that I will look into it to get the correct calculation. And when I did, it turned out that the 100 times of the diameter turns out to be true. I didn't inspect it before, and I don't like to take things blindly. And that's why I said it sounds wrong, because I know these things doesn't work with ratios. And if you try to do it with the Earth, it will be wrong. But only for the moon, it works with 110 diameters.
So was that
That's very good.
Hold on. Hold on. So that was the scale. So that was the image that you tried to scale from NASA, yeah?
No, that was the scale when I did the math for him, and he said he'd correctly do the math later and come back for me. He just was denying shit, but hey, he stepped back, looked at it, figured, we're all wrong sometimes, man. But people like Brendan Rumpus, dude, they automatically just blurt shit out to fit their model, just assuming that it's going to be correct. But it ain't always correct, guys.
It's always correct, Brian.
Case closed.
Brian, you can't understand these things. You're not able to.
Brenda, you don't even know what the square root of 121 is, Brenda. You didn't even know what the square root of 121 is. So stay out of it.
Why should she, off the top of her head?
Because it's easy. 11.
11.
Everybody knows it's 11.
Yeah, but no. Well, people not.
I knew it off the top of my head. A third grader would, Robert.
So I'm afraid that's not something you would determine whether someone's intelligent or not.
What would you determine? Whether they decide they're living on a spinning ball and the people at the opposite side are living, walking around upside down to them? Intelligent?
Rumpus, you remember when Brenda was saying, "You're a fraud, Ranty. You're a liar. You're a fraud." When she claimed that he CGI'd that 24-hour Antarctic video because she was denying that the clouds were the same. She did the same shit. She did the same shit to Gleam last night. Well, at another channel, she said that she was wrong and she humbled herself. But then she comes back on here and won't even apologize or nothing.
No, for one thing,
she's all genteel now, ladylike.
Brian,
that
video was 24 hours long. It showed 24 hours of sunlight.
You found a different explanation, and that is beside the point. point
that
is, you called
video-
him a
no, it's
liar and
not.
a fraud. But you,
No.
you said he CGI'd the video, Brenda. Okay, you went as
That
far
video-
as claiming.
That video disproves the flat Earth because it shows a 24-hour sun at Antarctica.
Brenda, that
It-
video
it's a-
was
it's a
debunked
direct-
1 hour after it came out.
What?
That video was debunked 1 hour after it came out. It's
How is
a
it debunked?
joke.
How?
It's a joke.
How's it
That video
debunked?
is a joke.
How?
Ranty debunked it
How?
live.
How is it debunked? Explain
Because
it
the
to me.
cloud coming in at the beginning was the same cloud that started coming in about 21 hours through the
How
video,
does-
dumbass. You're so
how is
stupid,
that a-
man.
How is
It's
that a
like
debunk?
talking to a rock.
How is that a debunk? How is that a debunk?
Try to
They
think.
are
Try
repeating
to
cloud
think,
patterns,
Brandon.
Brian.
No, how is that a debunk?
Brender,
I said-
Brender, shut up, Brender. If you
I
don't
just
know
want-
what,
I just
no,
want
no,
him to
no,
explain
you
it.
don't. No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
perfect
Brender.
Explain to me.
It doesn't need explaining, Brender. It
Yes,
doesn't
it does.
need explaining.
Yes, it
No,
does.
it doesn't. Go away, Brender.
The video shows. The video shows a 24-hour
claims-
sun.
it
Go
claims-
away, Brender.
Let
The
her
video
make
shows-
oh, listen, the video
It
claims a
Shows
24-hour
a
sun.
24-hour sun.
The video
Okay,
claims a
okay.
24-hour sun.
Right,
Brenda
listen.
finish her sentence.
Everybody be-
Shut
every-
up.
Did.
Right, listen.
Finish her sentence.
Everybody be quiet for just a second, and please just let Brenda just get the entire sentence out that she wants to say.
Right. So the video shows a 24-hour loop of sunlight in
You've already
Antarctica.
said this. You've already
Claim-
said this.
Yeah, and
Just
she's
a
saying it
minute.
again
I was
because
not
you
done.
interrupted
I
her.
was not done. I was not done. So the video
So
shows
pick
a
up
24-hour
from where
loop.
you.
So the
Pick
video.
up from where you already
so the video.
said.
Don't be
every
Okay,
time-
right, listen. Just let her finish the entire sentence, please. Don't interrupt her.
Oh my
right.
God.
So the video
Hey,
shows.
lady here tonight, her.
Oh,
The video shows a 24-hour sun at Antarctica, showing that the clouds at the beginning are the same as the ones at the end, doesn't refute the fact that it's a 24-hour video of the sun. You haven't debunked
Right,
it
you
at
said all
all.
that, and then you said all that, and then you got into a loop when I tried to respond saying, it's not debunked, it's not debunked, it's not debunked, it's not debunked, when I was trying
It's
to
not.
respond, okay?
It's not. It
Okay.
isn't debunked.
Nobody interrupted you. You were a broken record, okay? The video was claimed 24-hour sun, okay? The first 30 minutes, half an hour of that video showed a cloud. We'll compare it to an alligator mouth, right? Okay,
it
then
shows-
22 minutes. Hold on. The 22 hours.
Well, you didn't
into that
respect me,
video-
so I'm not going to respect you.
well, you
I'll
were
let
getting
you finish.
it-
It's when you started
Okay,
broken
well, if you want to
record.
go
You were
down
allowed
that
to
road,
speak.
Brender, if you want to go down that
All
road.
I did was try to respond, and you started
Down
saying
into
it's
the
not
mud.
debunked. It's not debunked.
It
I wasn't
wasn't.
interrupting you. I heard what you
It
said.
wasn't.
She was being
It
over
wasn't
talked,
debunked,
The
Brian.
same cloud comes in at the end.
Over talked.
Okay,
And
so
No, she
How does
wasn't.
that
She
Okay,
was
so
in
let's-
broken record mode.
let's get
How
some.
does that debunk it, Brian?
See,
How does that
how does
debunk
that
the
debunk
fact?
it, Brian? How does that debunk it, Brian?
Yes.
How does
Make
that
your
debunk it,
point,
Brian?
Explain it.
Make your point,
Explain
Brian.
it.
She's not gonna shut up and let me answer.
We will.
Explain it.
Stop
Explain
your
it, Brian.
Instead of making your point.
The
Explain
end
it.
of
Gaslighting,
that
Brender.
loop, coming up on 22 hours in that 24-hour loop, showed the same alligator mouth cloud.
So
If you
what?
line them up,
So
are you
what?
gonna let me
So
finish?
what?
You are interrupting
Okay.
her, Brenda. You are
the same
interrupting her.
alligator mouth cloud that came in at the first half hour of that video came in at 22 hours. It started coming in, and it was a claimed 24-hour loop. It was deception, okay? Because the same cloud, Randy took 2 screenshots and overlaid them, and they were identical. You said he was a liar and a fraud, and if you're going to expose him,
Yeah.
you got in a broken record loop and said, you're a liar, Randy. You're a fraud. You're a fraud. You're a fraud. You're a liar. You said he CGI'd it. You said it. First you said it didn't match. I want to hear you apologize if you are a humble person. Are you a humble person, Brenda?
So how does that debunk the fact that it shows 24 hours of sunlight?
Okay,
Because
so
Randy
hold
CGI'd the video,
on.
They just
Brenda,
looped the video.
Brenda. So Brian basically asked a basic question there. Listen, you did spend 20 minutes calling me a liar, and you haven't apologized for that when you've just said that it's looped, and it's clear that it's looped now. So
do you admit that it's? Do you admit that?
no. The question that was asked just then from Brian was, are you not going to offer an apology for calling me a liar for 20 minutes when it was quite clear that I was presenting reality from that video?
Is the video looped?
That's what we told you. The video was looped. We told you the video was looped.
Brenda is ignoring your
So-
question, Ranty. Do not
So
go away
the
from
video,
this point, Ranty.
So-
Do
the
not go
video
away
is
from it.
looped. The video is looped. It shows 24 hours of sunlight.
So
and that
will you be
refutes
apologizing
flat,
then?
Flat Earth.
So will you be
Why? It
apologizing?
shows. It refutes the flat Earth, right?
No. The point was that the
Yes, it
images,
does. Yes,
the
it
image
does.
at the
It shows
start,
24 hours of sun.
and the image at the
It
Just kick it out. Just kick it out.
It
Kick
does.
out.
It does.
Yeah,
It
hang on, Brenda. You
shows-
accused Ranty particularly
it
of being a
shows-
liar. Do you retract that?
It
Maybe your
shows
conclusions
24
regarding the
hours
video.
of sun.
Get Brenda out.
Show some humility,
Get
Brenda. You've done it
Brenda
before.
out.
I heard you apologize. Do it again.
No, I'm not going to because of how I get treated by you slime molds.
Brenda out.
So
Kick Brenda out.
it shows 24 hours of sun. That one video refutes flat Earth. That
So
one
did
video.
Ranty CGI it like you claimed, Brenda? That is the point. Who cares?
It's a loop. It's a
He
loop.
said it was a loop.
Yes, that doesn't have anything to do with the fact that it shows 24 hours of sunlight, does it?
You said he doctored damage and he was a liar and a fraud for 20
You
minutes.
guys, listen, stop. You
It
guys
doesn't
are
refute the-
talking to a sociopathic, gaslighting, transgender confused
Travis,
human
shut
being.
up. Shut up, you twat.
No, get
Shut up,
Brenda
twat.
out of here.
You're being an obnoxious twat now, Travis. Stop it.
No, not at all. Not
You
at all.
are. You're being really odious and
Gaslighting
obnoxious here.
sociopath.
Okay, so-
If Brenda was an
Okay,
honest
so
transgender, that'd be one
let's-
thing. If
okay.
you saw Brenda's
Shut up,
face
shut
standing
up,
up for
Pete.
truth,
So let's not let this get
you're very
too.
honourable now, Rumpus.
Hold on,
For-
let's-
Do not come out with your
Right,
crap,
let's-
odious, malicious crap.
So let's stick back to the point. The point was about this Antarctic sun. Okay, so Rumpus, why do you think they felt the need to loop that particular video?
Right. Well, obviously, I'm not familiar with the video, so I'm from a position of ignorance here. But I mean, does it not match exactly? Is it they've shown 26 hours or something, and therefore they've just added on the previous 2 hours and not cut it properly?
No, look in the chat, Rumpus. You'll see the two comparison right at the start of the video. It's exactly the same as right.
So if I look at general.
By the way, Brian, that crocodile mouth I call the gaping mouth. For me, beyond the obvious fakery, right, we're to get a lesson, and that is there's a repeating cloud pattern formation always in
The
play.
gaping mouth. That's funny. But check it out. The point is.
That's what it is. It's repeating in your
you could've
everyday
just
cloud. Also, in your
apologized.
everyday clouds, Brian, is the letter E, capital letter E. Pay attention to
There you
that.
go.
You'll spot it
She
easily.
could have said. She could have said.
Brian?
She could have said. Okay,
Brian?
I still say you're wrong, but I'm sorry for calling you a liar, Ranty.
Brian,
There's no honor in Brenda and the character.
Brian, I want to ask a question. Brian, if I apologize, what will that get me?
Dignity, Brenda. Dignity. You should try it sometimes.
No, I have plenty of dignity. What I want to know is if you and the rest of the people will treat me differently.
What for you? What for you admitting that you were wrong?
It's not about us, okay? It gives you more
Yeah.
credibility to all the
So-
other bullshit you say that you admit when you're wrong. We all admit when we're wrong. Just
So,
you, Brenda.
I'm not hearing.
Just
I'm not
you.
hearing.
Brian.
I'm not
You never
hearing any incentive. I'm not hearing any incentive. You have to give me an incentive.
Which makes you a sociopath.
We don't have to give you
Hey,
any
you want to
incentive there,
treat
Brenda.
it, Brenda, because you decided to cut off your testicles and
You have to
penis
tell me-
and have a round tackle between the fitted. On to forums where you lie continuously. Special treatment. Honourable men like Rumpus will garner you special treatment.
Hey, she's in the bargaining stage. She's in the bargaining stage, guys.
I just want to know if I do what you ask.
Then we squash it. Then we squash it.
Be truthful.
And then when I get caught lying or being wrong, and if I'm
No,
wrong,
you will
then
show
get to
your
call me
human
out.
side, Brenda. That's what would happen.
Yeah.
You will show your human side.
Also, you'll get to call me out if I lie on
Brian,
accident
why
or
are you
something. I try
over-talking her? Brian, why are you so rude? Why are you
Well,
do
she
not
asked me
let
a
Brenda
question,
finish?
you fucking idiot. She just asked me a
Yeah, but-
direct
yeah,
question,
but then
you fucking
then
idiot.
Brenda was still talking, and then you decided
Can you
to
say
interrupt her.
direct
Brian.
question addressed to Brian?
Brian, you just can't behave
Brian,
yourself,
hold
can you?
on, Brian. Let me try to calm things down. Brian,
Yeah,
Brenda
yeah.
is not a she. Okay.
hang on, Travis. Brenda has a ramshackle vagina. And I make her she.
Right, calm down. Right, I don't want you to go down this route, guys. Come on, let's check. Let's get back to.
This route.
She asked me a direct question, and Rumpus accused me of interrupting,
Yeah,
but I
but
didn't
she
respond.
was then
Are you
carried on in
kidding
the
me?
sentence. She was then speaking.
She
and
asked
you-
me a question
Brian,
by
you
name.
consistently interrupt
Rewind it,
people.
you fucking dumb,
Why
and then you
do
come
you?
back and
Why are
apologize.
you so rude? Why can't you?
You
let people
need to
keep their
rewind
questions?
it
Keep bringing
and come
them?
back and apologize
Why
to me
can't-
right now, or get lost.
And well mad instead of being a little ignorant and childish twat.
Rumpus, is there
rewind
any
it and
flat
then
earth-
come back
hey,
and
Rumpus, is there any
apologize to
flat
me.
earthers you don't have a problem with? Any flat earthers who show a little bit more intelligence than a bit of spawn and a rock, for instance?
So, who's got?
No, Brender, no. Do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I have to
No,
agree
wait
with
there.
Travis here, actually, Brenda. You
I've got
you shouldn't work out whether there's an incentive to do the right thing. You should say this is the right thing or not, and then just do that, come what may.
Yeah, you get treated
Yes,
like
apologise
a
to
liar when
Ranty
you
if you
lie.
wrong the
That's what
man
you've got
without
to
any
apologise
condition.
for.
That would be the right thing.
Yeah, yeah, Brenda. You don't want to take. You want to get
Okay,
affirmation
stop.
from these
No, no,
people.
no. Listen.
Oh, I couldn't
Listen
care
to
less.
this.
I couldn't
Listen
care
to this.
less about these people. I
Good.
couldn't care
Then what
less.
are you
Don't
doing
care.
here,
But
Brender?
don't
What
care
are you
they're gonna
doing
do then,
here?
Brenda. Don't
What are you
care
doing
what
here
they're going to
then?
do. You shouldn't care what they're going to do because they're pretty awful
Rumpus
people.
the
I'm afraid.
upright. Rumpus the honourable.
It's not about them, Brenda. It's about you and your dignity.
it's-
When you make a mistake, any human being says, "I'm sorry." That's all it is. Doesn't matter your
maybe-
gender. Doesn't matter if you believe in the flat Earth or the round Earth. You make
Yeah,
a
you say
mistake.
sorry-
You say, "I'm sorry." End of story. And
to
you
the
gain
one you've
respect.
offended, right?
You've never
Essie,
said
to the one
you're
you've
sorry.
offended,
Have
and
you,
you don't say, I'll say sorry to him if he all behaved differently.
Well, look, listen.
people-
Hold on,
keep
guys.
making-
This is going to be a long process. This isn't going to just happen on the day. This is going to take probably a few weeks for Brenda to actually pluck up the courage to apologise. So, we're not going to
Yeah,
just
that's
keep
called
begging her.
passive aggressive. That's called a sociopath who is
Oh, shut
passive
up,
aggressive
Travis.
and who is a gaslighting.
She is abused by you.
Sociopath.
You've abused her throughout this in a most personal, obnoxious fashion. She's entitled to get a bit annoyed about that and behave.
You're
that's
wrong,
got
Rumpus. She
nothing to
came
do
in
with it.
hot,
No,
screaming at
yeah.
us. She
Yeah.
came in hot, calling
Travis
people
and
morons.
Kate and Brian
Play
have
it
been
back.
abusing her personally in completely unnecessary personal ways in this panel so far. They behaved appallingly. So she's entitled to feel
Ranty
annoyed.
didn't do anything to her, and she behaved really
Okay,
bad
Ranty
towards
hasn't
him.
abused her. Yes, I'd agree that Ranty has not abused her. But three other people in this hangout have been very personally attacking her for no reason.
Rumpus, you weren't here, buddy.
Rumpus, you
did the
attack
same
every
thing
flat
you did
earther.
last
Not
night.
about this hangout. I've been
Okay,
here.
well,
and
never talked
I've
to
been here.
To be honest,
People will be quiet. If people will be quiet, Ranty, I'm sorry. The video showing the 24-hour sun in Antarctica was indeed looped, and it was not your fault.
thank you very much.
Booyah!
It shows a 24-hour sun and is a direct refutation of flat Earth. You cannot have.
If it's
24 hours
looped,
of
hang on,
sunlight.
if it's looped, Brenda.
Hey, don't interrupt her, please. Just let her make a
You
She's
point.
can't
finished. Brenda's finished.
You
If
can't-
it's looped,
I
Brenda,
was
then
not
it's
finished.
falsified.
I was not finished, piss drinker. I was not finished. I was not finished.
What do you put in your
can't
mouth,
have-
Brenda?
Okay, so
Oh.
now
can't
You
have-
put in your mouth. You put something in your family now that you have one.
Ranty, I just want
There was
to
no-
bring it up,
There was no
Ranty,
deal.
that-
There was no deal. There
Ranty,
was
I
no
just
deal.
want-
You didn't
Ranty,
make
I
a
just-
deal, so you don't
Ranty.
get the consideration.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
didn't make
Ranty.
the deal.
Right. Ranty, I just want to point out that Brenda did not
Deal.
apologize for calling you a liar. Okay? That's different.
Oh,
That was a very...
I apologize for
No.
calling Ranty a liar.
Well, she's
Okay.
done it now.
Yeah.
Travis, she's just cleared that up now, so you don't need to worry.
So the point,
Yep, very good.
nevertheless,
Okay, end the story. Let's move on now. How about
Okay, yeah, I would like to move. I would.
the video refutes flat Earth.
Okay, let's just ask. Right, Aaron Armstrong's given a super chat. Travis, how's eyes to see? Still fingers deep in her webcam? Question mark. Don't know what that means, but thank you for the super chat. Right, listen. If you want to,
it's a sexual remark. It's a sexual remark.
if you want
Because
to,
that's all you people have is your sexual.
Aaron's
that's
on
from
you-
your team.
Aaron's on your
that was-
side.
Sex, Brenda, right?
He's
Got
on,
rid
he's
of
on
it.
your team, Brender.
That
He's
fucker
on,
off.
Brender, he's on your team. Your team
So
just
all
made
you
that
people
comment.
have is your sexual
against you,
infatuation.
Travis. What have you been up to with ICC, Travis?
That was from your
Travis, that just goes to show
BJ
there are
here
wanker
has a
Globers as
constant
well.
hard
There are
on.
Globers who are wankers as well, then, doesn't it?
Right.
So
Let's.
BJ has
We can
a
either
constant
stay on.
Hang on, Brenda. That
We
was
can-
a comment against
He
Travis.
wants some of this.
Right,
You
we
want
can-
some of this.
listen.
Aaron Armstrong was making a comment against Travis
Do I
and
have to
how
mute
he
you
has
all?
a relationship with ICC pathway.
Right. Do you want to stay on the Antarctic sun? If so, we'll definitely get into that. Or Brian, you said you got some images from your laser test. So, which one do you guys want to get into?
I'd like to make a motion. I don't know if you can pull them up, but I couldn't present. But I emailed you some real life, like not satellite bullshit, off scale, off proportion. I sent like probably about 5 different high altitude pictures of the umbra with no penumbra, a very defined night and day line. There is no penumbra. If you can pull them out your email and present them, that's fine. If not, I'll have to find a way to present them.
Okay, it's fine. Yeah, I'll have a look. I'll bring them down.
Can I just say to Brian as well, every image you look for, Brian, with an eclipse above the ground level from an airplane, for instance, the moon will always diminish into a little black dot. Just the similar size, Ranty, as you showed with Travis, the sun diminishing too under the appropriate lensing, right? Very interesting, isn't it?
The moon never changes size.
Know your story, Rumpus, and there's a
Never,
1 to 400
ever,
relationship between the
ever.
distance
And
between the
that's
Earth and the
ever.
Sun.
It never changes size.
It
I have a
never
question for you.
changes size.
I have a question for you guys.
Can you
How-
not
how do
consider
you explain-
consider alternatives, Rumpus?
How do you explain
It doesn't.
an eclipse? How do you explain an eclipse? Flat earthers?
Yeah.
How do you explain
A little
it?
black dot blocking something bright like a
Now,
focal
how do you
point.
explain it?
I have an
How do you
answer
explain
here.
it?
I have an answer. Well, I have an answer, but I'll let other flat earthers give up
Okay,
their
well,
answers
before
or
we get-
whatever they might have to say.
Yeah. So Aaron says that he was taking the attention off of you, Brenda, with his super chat. Fair enough. Thank you for the $2 super chat to say
That's
that.
right.
Oh, well, then I'm
And
sorry.
Rumpus
I'm
called him a
sorry.
cunt.
And listen,
I apologize. I apologize to him because I feel a little bit, personally attacked every time I come in to any flat Earth space. I am consistently personally attacked and sexually abused.
Okay, well, okay.
Nice to see you as a person.
Right,
As well.
well-
I'd like an apology as well. I'd like an apology as well. If Aaron, I thought
Okay.
he was having a go at Brendan.
I'm sick and tired of listening to you. No, it's my it's my turn. It's my turn. Johnny Bernhard.
John is here. Yes, sir.
I do not even want John here. Do not let John in the
Yes,
show.
do not let John speak or say do any. In fact, be.
Okay. You don't say what you want to do or not want to do. I want to talk with you. I'm sick and tired. You're a fucking fool. Everybody know you don't know what you're talking about.
Please
So,
save us.
you're a fucking fool.
Ranty, please save us.
Please, Ranty, please.
Why? Why? What's wrong
He's
with?
a drunken moron.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, nobody gets kicked, man. Rumpus
Right.
was about to apologize. Let's
I'd
hear him
like
out.
to apologise to Aaron. If I thought he was attacking Brenda personally. Brenda thought he was. If I've misunderstood that, then I
I
apologise.
know Brenda. I'm sick and tired. I know Brenda, but I am sick and tired of you, Rumpus. You're
John
talking
Bernhard,
about
a few minutes there,
fucking
Randy.
all the time.
You really want to
What the
you
fuck
really
do
want
you
to
think
do
you
it.
are?
Ranty,
While
you
we're being
can't let
honest,
him
wait,
speak.
Rumpus. While we're being honest, I want you to apologize to me for twice getting a question asked directly to me by name and then bitching at me and calling me a twat, all this other shit for interrupting when I was asked a direct question twice in a row by Brenda.
Well,
He called him a twad. A twad is a fanny. He called you a fanny. A vagina, he called you, Brian.
Right, so Brian, she asked you a question, but she was also then carrying on a sentence, and it was quite clear that she was still in mid-explanation, and then you decided to interrupt like you always do, I'm afraid. So I'm afraid until your behaviour improves enormously, you're not going to get any apology from me.
No,
You're wrong.
Rumpus, any longer.
We named interrupting your
You're
number.
finished. Rumpus, you're finished. You're nothing to
you've got to do
say
something
anymore.
about this guy.
Anymore. You're nothing to say.
Ranty, you've got
Do you
to
want
do
to
something
talk to
about
me?
it.
Do you want to
I'm
do?
Bernhard, happy
Why
Savior.
you say nothing to
This is
me?
just going to turn into chaos and a mess and just a shouting.
What, like you?
Speak away, John Bernhard's there. Have a few minutes.
Jesus.
Okay.
Ranty, why do you want this tosser in here?
I've
Rumpus,
never.
that's
Give him
what
a
you
few
sound
minutes.
like.
He's the newest member to the new hangout.
Rumpus, this is what you sound like. When you won't shut up, that's what flat earthers hear.
This is
So
what,
when-
this is what Ranty loves. Ranty loves
No, no, it's all about new people. I've never. Hold on. I've never spoken to John before, so I've never heard of.
Oh my god.
I love Brenta. It's not
Ranty loves this stuff. If he didn't like it, he would change it.
Why?
The baller shut up and let
Maybe
Ranty talk to John Bernard.
John, Ranty, if you've never had John before, he's like Brian, only about 5 times worse, if you can believe it.
Brian is cool in my book.
But Robert, you're finished. Everybody know you are just a joke, okay?
Okay, well.
Can anyone
You know
hear
it.
me? Hello?
You know it.
Yeah, who was that? Crow?
Yes. Did you see the GIF image that I posted, which is from the eclipse that you shown earlier?
I do. It says clouds appear inside what appears to be the Umbra. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if there was no clouds inside there, we would have said that all of this is the Umbra. But now that cloud exposed that this is the penumbra.
Or
We cannot distinguish
how about?
between 100% of it.
How about that the cloud is just be able to be seen because the shadow isn't that strong?
Yes, exactly,
mean the
because the
shadow's
shadow
not
is
strong?
not strong.
It's
It's
completely
not
dark.
Because it's all
100% shadow.
because it's
You
all.
can't see the shadow.
Hold on.
You should not be able to see clouds at all if it's in the
Hold
Umbra.
on, because it's all CGI.
Yeah, let me tell you
It's
what happens
all
when you
CGI.
are
It's all
beside the
CGI.
shadow.
Then-
What happens
then
when you are
don't-
beside the shadow of an eclipse is you get
Brian,
in shade, you
Brian,
get little
Brian,
what?
Brian, I
What?
always said I like you, and I've been very nice with you. So please stop shouting at me.
Okay, I'm not shouting at you, dude. What are you talking about? You just interrupted me.
You are shouting,
Okay.
Brian.
That's the third time. Third time, guys. Okay, anyway,
He's not
what I
able
was
to.
saying is if you are beside the shadow, if you are beside the moon shadow on the earth, and you are in light, okay, and then if you look at shade from that sunlight, it's not a penumbra. You see a bunch of little shadows, of little mini crescent moons. It's strange and unexplained. But y'all don't understand. Y'all will not address the unexplained.
Well, I've just
Like your focal
showed
point,
that our
explanation,
eyes
Brian,
cannot distinguish
reflective. Hang on,
between
all
the
skylight's
umbra
been
and the
reflective,
penumbra.
bro. Have you considered this?
Pete, I was responding to Brian, and I said I've just proved that our eyes are not equipped to distinguish between the umbra and the penumbra. That's it.
Umbra.
Because it
So
looks...
there's no penumbra.
No, he's making the point that what looks like the Umbra is in fact the penumbra, because we can see clouds there. So clearly, what Ranty is let me finish. So what Ranty is perceiving as an
Nobody
Umbra.
wants
Because it
to
looks,
know
oh
what you're
Jesus
saying.
Christ! Shut up, John. So what
can't help
Ranty?
yourself.
Oh Jesus Christ! So what Ranty is perceiving as an Umbra, a Crow is showing here that it's in fact a penumbra, and that's why it's so big. It's much bigger than the 50 kilometers. Let me finish. It's much bigger than the 50 kilometers because it's not the Umbra. It's the penumbra. The penumbra's massive.
Okay, Rumpus, can I just ask you, have you ever experienced any of this yourself, or is it all theoretical?
I have experienced the eclipse, yes.
Have you experienced the penumbra first overtaking the day,
I have.
and then the umbra and drastically reduce the light level?
Yeah.
I have too. I've experienced that too.
Yeah, you said you experienced it 30 years
So,
ago.
hang on, because the penumbra is 4 times the size, and we know how when you increase the radius.
It's more than 4 times the size.
But when you increase the radius by 2, how much you increase the area of a circle by?
It's
Rumpus?
much more than 4 times the size in radius.
Right. So the point being that you would experience this diminishing of light from a very early time before you experience the more drastic when the umbra.
Yeah, correct. That's what
comes into
happens.
play.
Yes. And I've
When have you ever experienced that? When have you experienced that?
I think it was 1990.
Oh, come on, get the fuck out of here,
1992, when you were in play school, you were a child prodigy, like.
It was a Tuesday. It was a Tuesday at 4:14. He just got done getting off the 12 bus.
I did experience it, but I can't remember when.
Yeah,
I don't understand the math. Otherwise, if you haven't experienced it and understood it properly, can you understand? Are you going by the mathematics? Is this your main driving?
My experience. I understand my experience. It was in the 1980s, and we took time off from work to go outside with a sun sunglasses, it's really dark glasses, and we could see a partial eclipse of the sun, and all of the shadows cast by the trees and everything else were were little crescent shapes, because we didn't get to a totality. We just got partial eclipse.
But that was at the moment. But Brenda, that was at the very moment of eclipse, right? I'm talking about a penumbra diminishing the light of the day
That is the
significantly
penumbra.
until up to the umbra.
That is the penumbra.
The penumbra? Was it the penumbra?
Yes,
You went
a
out for a
partial-
moment in time where everything diminished.
Yes.
No,
The
that's
whole
the umbra.
the whole sky, the whole sky.
That's the umbra. That's what I'm saying.
Turned dim. No, it's the penumbra. We were in the penumbra. The whole sky turned dark.
But you said you went outside for a momentary basis on glasses.
We were our employer
You
allowed
had
us
to
to
take
go.
a course over the day,
Can I
right? Over
Can I fucking talk, you fucking piece of shit?
PT, let me speak.
Now you see how
Oh
Brenda
my
turns
God,
out.
John
to
coming
be.
as well.
I want to.
Brenda was
to
in
talk.
mid-sentence.
I want to talk
They
to-
interrupted her. Brenda, go ahead for Christ's sake.
I fucking talk, you fucking piece of shit.
Brenda,
Did anyone hear that?
I like
To go
you. I
back.
like
So the
you.
point is, shut up, John. So the point is,
Okay.
we were allowed by our employer to go outside and witness this because it was a rare event. Everybody was excited. We witnessed the whole light around you, everything around you turned dim. It turned like down to like, I don't know, 70% or something like that. And then we used these.
For how
these
long were you
visors.
outside?
It was a few minutes. It was several minutes. I don't remember how
Right.
long. And the shadows
Talking for much
cast,
longer periods than that.
John, the shadows cast by the leaves, the gaps in the trees of the leaves, showed little crescent moons, because that's what happens during a partial eclipse. It never went to totality, but the whole world turned dark, dim, and birds started singing because they thought it was twilight. Birds started singing.
Did you say that the
Oh,
shadows cast?
okay.
Hang on. Did you say the shadows cast in the form
The
of little crescent
shadows-
moons?
You can find
Little
pictures
of the
this.
leaves.
The leaves will cast shadows, and they will show on the sidewalk as crescent shapes. Yes.
What?
What are you talking
Yes,
about?
yes,
What
yes.
are you talking about?
You'll see.
Interesting, but I
hundreds.
mean, I'm
Yes.
curious. How would that? What's the mechanism behind that?
It's called a fucking shadow, you moron.
Yeah, but why would it be a crescent moon, you fucking moron? And stop calling me names,
Because the
please.
sun. Why you don't restrict yourself with me?
Just asked you a question. You made a very curious comment.
No,
The shadows cast
no.
by the leaves on the trees, give the
Yes,
shadows of
yes.
the shape of a crescent moon. And I was wondering why.
The crescent sun, actually, because the sun was it was a partial eclipse. That's why.
But a lot of the light will be coming through, so it will be still direct light in some sense, right?
It's
You can go.
It's not
Google
such a
this.
stupid
You can
question,
go-
Brenda.
There you
Asking
go.
you
Somebody
to tell me your explanation for why a leaf on the tree, which would normally cast.
There you go.
Stop interrupting. Why a leaf on the tree, which would normally cast a full leaf shadow,
No,
when you have
no, they
a
don't.
lining up, an
No.
alignment of
No.
heavenly bodies of given
That's
dimensions
not
and
how-
given
it's
distances
not how
apart,
it works.
why they would
Pete-
cast a shadow of a crescent moon?
You don't know. You don't
Them
know
little
anything about-
shadows disprove a 93 million mile sun. Okay, them three.
You don't know anything about it.
All you're doing is repeating what I
Brian,
said, Brenda.
Brian,
There's no
no,
dusk.
No.
There's no dusk. What do you
Have to
think
look
the
it up.
hell is when it
Yes,
all of a sudden gets
it
dark?
was dusk.
Okay,
No,
okay,
you-
relax.
Look, I'll give
Relax,
you a
everybody.
break.
Everybody.
I'll cut you some slack
Relax.
because you think that
Relax.
you're what?
Yeah, that's what happens.
I want to talk about
picture-
the sun. The sun, okay?
Bass
know.
Chris has just posted an excellent picture.
The sun is revolving.
Bass Chris has just posted an
Go
excellent
sober up.
picture.
Go sleep it off. Go sleep it off, John. Go sleep it off.
Yeah, Ranty, John unfortunately spent
Think
his
about
entire time
it.
being drunk, as many
Pete-
other positive attributes.
Pity.
Hey, Ranty,
Everybody, relax.
you got a way of
Relax.
presenting an email. If you check your email, Ranty, I sent you pictures.
You got
So
someone
shut
busy
them
in
up.
chat,
Dude, they're
Brenda.
talking about penumbra. There's no damn
That's
Okay,
penumbra.
I love you all. I just want to say.
I personally witnessed Penumbra, Brian, because
Check out Gleam's picture.
You're wrong. Okay.
Check out Gleam's picture. Stop.
So what is with 30 years ago? So what?
I'll cut you some slack because you're going off 30 years ago.
How good is your memory? We were talking about the amount of time. Hang on, Brenda. We were talking about the amount of time that the light would.
You did not mention the crescent shadows until I just
No,
brought
I
it
don't
up.
feel
That's
like.
what you
Listen,
see in the non-existent penumbra.
What, Ranty? You should give these characters a little bit of a shorter shrift than you give flat earthers because we know they're fucking liars. But when we're dealing and entertaining with them, know your place then, Brenda.
Everybody,
I'm talking about the Penumbra and the Umbra.
Know your place.
Relax.
Know your place, piss drinker.
What's going on, Gleam? What's up, Gleam?
You hear that?
Know your place, piss gargler.
Can we talk about this one?
Here, you guys want to know something about Pete? You want to know something about Pete?
Not really. He's got a penis like you.
I drink urine.
Piss isn't the only bodily fluid he drinks.
Brenda, do you want to talk with me?
Can we get off this subject, please?
What do you do?
I want to talk
with your
about
bodily
this
fluids, Brenda?
We got a turd burglar calling somebody a
You
piss
told me.
piss
You told me. Because he is.
Yeah,
He is.
but I just asked you, what do you do with your bodily fluid? Told not to spill or see. Do you as a male, are you a male now? When you were a male, did you toss your bodily fluids into a sock and throw it out?
See, he's justifying it. He's justifying it.
Bass Chris just posted another excellent picture of crescent shadows. We ought to be presenting to the people.
Yes, show that.
How does this make sense,
That goes to
Rumpus?
Brenda's favor. We have to say the truth on this one.
But hang on, SC,
Show
how
that
does that make
picture.
sense, Rumpus? That during a partial eclipse, that any shadow that's cast will be
Which
of
picture?
a crescent. What's going on here? Honestly, that's a genuine question.
It'll be the crescent sun. Of course it will.
Think of the sizes and the distance. We're still getting sunlight through from the unlit, the lit portion of the sun. And not arrive directly.
Just crescent shaped.
It's like it's like covering half a flashlight.
Oh my
It's like covering half a flashlight and shining it on a leaf and expecting to get a.
The light from a flashlight is not parallel, whereas the light from the sun is almost parallel, and therefore it retains the shapes.
Okay, Rumpus, you don't know about this one.
My
If you really want to talk about this one, I really want to talk about this one.
Laser.
Go and fill a hole somewhere,
The
John.
sun can
Try and stand on
everything.
one leg. Try standing on one leg at the moment.
Okay, can we talk about this one?
Yeah, if you
The
can
sun,
manage to.
the sun is 93 million miles away. It's composed mostly of hydrogen and helium, and it's burning due to fusion and fission reactions inside its nuclear core.
So it's burning. You grow plants next to fire, Brenda? Is fire what
do you think
grows
the sun is,
trees
John?
and plants?
No, it's nuclear fires. Don't.
No, you're
nuclear
not thinking.
fires-
You're not allowed to think
it's
for
nuclear-
yourself for some reason.
It's nuclear. It's nuclear fire. It doesn't require oxygen.
Okay, it's my
Can
topic.
you
It's
grow
my
plants
topic.
with nuclear fire? Can you grow trees
But
with
we are what
nuclear
Brenda
fire?
said. What do you think
Yes,
the
you
sun
can.
is,
No, it
John?
does not
Yes,
put out in
yes,
the
you can.
2400
It's my fucking topic.
Yes, it
the
does.
2000
Yes, it does.
nanometer
What
spectrum.
the heck
No,
is
it does
going
not.
on
Yes, it
about?
does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
You have to emit light
John,
in
why are
the.
you being
We-
so rude?
It does.
Why are you
Shut
being
up,
so rude,
Rumpus!
Brian?
God
Why are
damn,
you
that
getting
motherfucker
angry?
graduated.
It does that.
Really?
It does,
Really?
Brian. It does, Brian.
She just asked me another question, and fucking here comes Rumpus.
Well, that doesn't mean
Shut
that
the
you can then
fuck up,
carry
you
on
dick!
indefinitely and then not allow her to respond. You're just going on and on interrupting her all the time.
She
Don't
asked me what I
make
was
a
talking
point.
about, and I went to explain, and
Oh, my
here
Lord.
comes Rumpus. Okay, when you're
Why
done
don't you just
talking,
make a
let me
point,
know.
Brian, and then she can respond, then you take turns. How about that as an idea?
Rumpus, your mama should have
Okay.
taught you some manners, man. You know, we nicknamed interrupting your name, dude. And you can't even acknowledge that, but you can try to get Brenda to apologize.
Just because
You need to
you are
apologize.
ill-mannered, you're just projecting here, Brian, I'm afraid. You
Brian,
are
it's
interrupting
my
like crazy.
topic. Brian, I am on your side. Can you relax?
Have some
Brian.
coffee. Have some coffee.
Brian, relax. It's my turn now, okay?
To not relax.
I love Brenda. He has so lovely voice and everything.
I don't care. I don't care for John. I don't
John Bernard was a sailor for years.
Yeah, I don't care for. I don't care for.
Can I ask
I
Brenda
have
following the sun?
better men. I have better men than any of you in here.
Anyway,
Can I
anyway.
ask Brenda a direct question about the
He's
sun?
hitting on you, Brenda.
No, now it's
Brenda.
my turn. It's
Oh
my
my
turn.
god.
Is it going to be about the sun?
What were we talking about?
It's my turn now.
Ryan was making a point. I can't forget what it
It's
was.
my fucking turn.
Let Gleam say something, for crying out loud.
No,
You guys
no.
been
Come on.
blabbing all day.
Hold on,
Yeah,
no,
I'd like-
no, wait. I want to hear John first and then Gleam.
Thank you.
Come on,
It's very
John.
hard for me. It's very hard for me.
John, don't scream my name when I'm sitting on fucking
Where's the sun,
YouTube.
John?
Whether you're on my
give
team
it
or
up.
not.
John, I love you. Excuse me. I love you. I have to excuse me. I just want to say
Jesus.
something about this one. Okay?
It's a what is the sun, John?
Come on, John.
What is
Tell
the
us
sun?
the alphabet backwards. See if you can do that in your drunken state.
Okay. So,
Z first, then Y.
why are you talking? It's my turn.
Right, we'll
My
get
turn.
on with it then.
It's your everything. Blah, 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 blah. Rumpusat.
John, what is the sun? What is the sun? Brenda told us what the sun is from her point of view. What is the sun?
Okay. The sun is different in different places. It's so if you are in the north.
Well, thank you for
see
that
the
intro,
sun.
John. You done. You did well there. Well done. Thank you.
McFan
We'll move along
Rumpus,
now.
he knows John knows.
You cannot wait. You have to talk. All the time you have to come in and say something.
Yeah. You
No,
had
John.
10 minutes. You managed to cock it up. So
come on,
get-
John.
Right, everybody be quiet and just let John speak, please. Just give him 30 seconds and then I'll decide what's what. So, go on, John.
For the first place, I'm not English speaking for the first place, so it's not so. It's very difficult for me to talk with some idiot like.
15 seconds left.
Okay, but okay, I say listen.
You see, Ranty.
First start, first start, John.
Best, by the way, Ranty. This is this is top form for John at the moment. Just imagine what he's like when he's worse.
What a collection of misfits and freaks you have tonight, Ranty.
Okay,
can
I'm
I
coming
ask
to it now, if I can. Can I?
Can you do what, sorry?
Can I?
Stand on one leg, John. Tracy, see if you can stand on one leg next to a pointed implement. Hold a pointed implement and see if you can stand on one leg, and we'll see how you get on with that.
There's no way.
John, if you were forced to ride either Rumpus or
Okay.
Brenda, which one would you pick and why?
I fucking love you, but I hate you too.
So Pete, the
I don't
piss
know what
drinker-
I can do.
Pete the piss drinker complains that when I talk about him, but he has no problem discussing
Forget
me
all
like
this
that.
personal.
He has no
Okay,
trouble
right.
talking
Let's
to me
move
like
on.
that.
Gleam.
So that's why, Ranty, that's why I'm rude, because you're rude. The people
Why
here
do you
are
let
rude.
other people
Genuine
dictate
question.
your actions?
Hang on, Brenda. It's
Why
a
do you-
genuine question. If I was forced to do it, I'd have to say I'd have to fuck you because at least you have a ramshackle vagina.
Right, let's move
I wouldn't
on.
touch you with a fucking 10-foot pole. I've had far better men.
Not me to you either. But I said if I was forced.
Pete.
Far
Well
better-
done for
far
well
better
done for-
boyfriends than you. Far
So
better
well done,
boyfriends
Pete.
than you.
You're just being an obnoxious wanker again. I mean, Jesus.
Right, okay, let's move on. Right, Gleam.
Yeah, can I just ask the Globe Earthers then, if you know so much about the sun, what it is, what it's made of, how it works, why does the solar corona defy your known physics, globe science?
We have that's one aspect of the sun we don't fully understand, but it's obviously ejecting material that's deeper underneath the surface, and that's where it's coming from. So that's why.
I gotta follow.
I
gotta follow.
Well done, Brian. Interrupt me in mid-sentence. Great stuff.
Okay, we know that
Hey,
hydrogen.
Brian, I was in
listen.
mid-sentence there.
No, I let you finish. We know that hydrogen.
I was in mid-sentence, and you now
You just
interrupted me. I was in
answered.
mid-sentence.
Okay, let's go.
I
Continue.
was giving a response to Gleam, and you interrupted me.
Just you didn't know, but continue.
You rude, ill-mannered little twat. I was answering Gleam's question, and you decided to interrupt me. Jesus Christ. Behave like an adult for once. Jesus Christ. Try and behave. My God. Right, so Gleam, yes, we do have a problem. We don't understand everything in the universe. in science, so we're still learning, but we do know that those coronal ejections are coming from deeper under the surface than the surface itself, so it's a different temperature. But we don't fully understand where it's coming from. We don't fully understand quite why. So it's bound to be something to do with the magnetic properties, because they're following these magnetic field flux lines, and it's something to do with that being energized by that. But yes, you're right, we don't fully understand that particular aspect of the sun. Go ahead, that's someone else.
How about me?
My
Can I answer
God.
that question?
Yeah, sure. Carry on. Go on, Crow.
Yes. I know nothing about how the sun works, but that doesn't mean that it's an object that is sitting right there so far away, and I won't even say how far, but it's so far away. That's all.
Well, I think you do know how it works, Crow. I mean, you know it's fusions going on in there, don't you?
It was explained to me, but you know,
Okay,
sometimes they say it's quantum mechanics and interfered with the nuclear stuff, so I wouldn't say I really understand how it works.
Can you understand though that you can question the whole model of what Brenda was just so confident about, just purely on that factor? Because
No,
you
you
could
can't.
say, well, you could say it's powered from external.
You could be wrong.
How? How would you prove me wrong?
Well,
When-
we know
when
there's
your
lots of
current
energy being introduced. We
physics
just don't
doesn't
happen
work.
to know about the dynamics of some parts, because it's a
It's
boiling
not some
dynamic
parts.
system. Sorry?
It's the whole thing. The corona is everything surrounding. For the listeners, the corona is basically everything off surface. So you've got a surface temperature of 6,000 Kelvin, and then you've got an off surface corona in the millions of Kelvin. Whereas in a normal environment in thermodynamics, you literally step away from a fire and you get cooler. So
Yeah,
you
but
step away from the body, you should get
Yeah, well,
cooler.
that's radiation. Yeah, that's a radiation rule. But this is stuff material that's being ejected from underneath the surface that's hotter. But we don't quite understand the full mechanics, and particularly there's a lot of magnetic flux going on here that things like causes the loops in the coronal ejections and things. It's a very complicated system. It's not just a simple radiative thing. It's clearly material that's being ejected. So it doesn't follow the radiative inverse square law, which is what you're talking about when you say move further away from something. This is actually material that's being ejected. Things like being next to a fire is not ejecting stuff at you.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to dumb it down and explain it how NASA explains it on their website. They literally say, imagine standing around a roasting campfire, roasting s'mores. You feel the warmth of the flames as the marshmallows crackle. Now back away, you get cooler, right? That's not how it works on the sun. The visible surface of the sun is temperature of 10,000 Fahrenheit. Backing away from the inferno should cool things down, but it doesn't. Instead, the upper atmosphere, or corona, sizzles at millions of degrees. So I was just
When they say
explaining
backing,
it
I
how
don't
they-
believe they've used the word backing away. I think you've misparaphrased that. But because it's material that's being ejected that's hotter. I don't believe they used the phraseology you've just used just now, because you used phraseology was just very childish and wrong.
Yeah, Ranty, if you can just pull it up, because I don't know, it's just like an auto gleam is wrong for some reason when the
But you
actual.
are always wrong.
Okay, so Gleam, do you want to share yours? Do you want to present
Well,
it yourself?
I'm just going to put it in the chat thing.
Okay.
Well, isn't
just
temperature like temperature? You would say is a measurement of an energy level, and if you're going to say at the source it has a lower energy level than after it's left and expended energy, that's not really going to make sense.
Can you read that, Rumpus, and just confirm?
Yes,
that is
okay,
NASA
all right
words?
then. Yeah, it does. It's
Yeah, so am I always
using.
wrong?
Well, okay, you can read out a web page. I'll give you that.
No, yeah, I was just reciting a web page, and you just auto think I'm wrong about.
Well, I
something
don't think that's very
what it
well
is.
written.
It's from NASA, bro.
Well, it doesn't matter. It can make things like bad stuff as well as good stuff. That's not very well written.
Great. But
I mean,
anyway,
for instance,
Okay,
it
so
says you
this
get
doesn't
cooler.
answer my
For instance,
question.
anything that's got a
You've
word
just
something
said,
that says
"Meh,
you
don't
get cooler, right? Question mark. Anybody uses that form of grammatical
It's NASA,
construction
mate.
should be
You're
ignored.
cursing your own people. Should we ignore
Yeah, I
their
think,
maybe
it's
you
bad.
should
I
write
think
the
that's
article.
badly written. I think that's
Should we
badly
ignore
written.
their badly done CGI photos as well then? Okay.
Well, it's just badly written. It's a childish.
Yeah, it's just badly photographs and taken.
It's just written by a PhD with like 15 years experience.
Well, perhaps he was dumbing it down because he thought that really stupid people would read this, and he was right.
Yeah, I was dumbing it down for you Because you've just proved you're a stupid person. Because you're just
No, I
now
haven't.
actually
I've just used,
insulting NASA.
I've got standards of English that you haven't. That's what we've seen here.
Yeah, have we?
Yes.
You learned by the Queen, did we?
First time here. I was wondering if I can ask a question.
Is that, yeah, salute. I'll go on mute.
Okay, so everybody's back off mute now. So
Someone wanted to ask a question, I think.
I'd like to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask a question. First time here.
Okay, first time here. Yes, go ahead. Hold on.
Randy, it was worthwhile putting me on mute and
Hold-
hearing Rumpus's answer there, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, go ahead. I'm next.
Right, who's first time here? Please introduce
Bungie.
yourself. Bungie, how's it going?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Question was, because I live in the southern hemisphere, on a flat Earth, how does the sun work when, where I am in summertime, the sun rises in the southeast and sets in the southwest, but in the middle of the day, the sun's virtually directly above me, and that will work the same in South America and South Africa.
Brian, why are you interrupting him? He had not finished his bloody question. Brian, why did you interrupt him? Brian, he's only in his first sentence and you interrupted it. Why are you so rude? He had not finished. He had not finished.
He just
You heard his question now, Rumpus.
Okay, right.
Behave like
Good
an adult.
grief.
Bungie, have you finished? I don't think you had.
Who's giving Rumpus a voice here, Ranty? What the fuck is going on?
Right.
This guy to shut up and give him a warning, and if he misbehaves, kick him out. That's the way it should be. Can't hear
Right,
Brian.
hang on. I need to get in touch with Brian because just a minute, Brian. You need to be quiet for just Brian. You need to be quiet. No, you need to be quiet for a minute. Right, I'm gonna. Right, here we go.
Let's see if this guy's honest.
Did you finish? Oh,
Right.
thank God for that.
Right, Brian, the reason I've server muted you is just because I need to speak to you, mate. You're roboting, so nobody can hear what you're saying. That's what I've been trying to tell you. It's like you've been screaming and shouting and no one can hear what you're saying because it's just... But, like that, yeah? So maybe you need to rejoin the call. Maybe you need to rejoin the call. That's all I'm saying. Right? Crikey. Right.
You would think the group home. You would think the group home had better internet than that.
Okay, so you said it. You asked for an explanation.
Yeah, get the
Right.
to operate the computer for him.
Some
I'm
flat
just
earth
gonna
might
get a-
want to take the guy's question there. Can I just get it straight though?
Yeah.
That Rumpus, your answer is we don't know everything about everything, and we can't. We use royal we can't quite explain what is going on thermodynamically with the sun to give these results that are. You don't dispute the results here, do you? Or the,
No,
the
no,
point of
the
contention?
results. No, I don't.
What?
So the sun is our nearest neighbor. Hang on, the sun is our nearest neighbor, pretty much visually in the sky, right next to the moon. The two major objects in our reality, and you can't understand such a basic.
We know lots and lots and lots about the sun. We just don't happen to know that particular aspect because the energy and the forces, particularly the magnetic force fluxes, are so great that it creates a physics that we're not familiar with. We can't create those fluxes on the Earth in a lab. They're just so vast, and the energies are so great that you get other effects that we don't have, like gravity, for instance. We can't create gravity very well because we can't create mass on the scale of the Earth. So similarly, we can't create these flux densities, magnetic flux densities that are on the sun. So we don't.
Maybe
fully
you're
understand
wrong.
what's going on.
Maybe you're wrong about gravity, just like
but
you're
we do
wrong.
know-
Maybe you're wrong about the
no.
sun, like you might be wrong about gravity.
We're not
We're
wrong
right
about
about gravity.
gravity.
Well, that's fair enough.
and
Is
we're-
there a black hole at
we-
the center of the sun,
we-
Rumpus, according
No,
to the latest
no.
thinking?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
But I think you'll find that you have to do some more googling.
You don't know anything. You don't know anything about physics, Pete. So
This is our Historicus. We're
You
dealing
don't
with
know
reflection.
anything about
The sun is the point source
Yeah, I know
reflection
more than
off
you.
of a watery barrier.
So yeah,
Perfect.
see, there we go.
Either hot
See,
or
there we go.
cold.
Uh,
We experience heat.
delusion-
Excuse me. Let me finish, Brenda. This is give an alternative view to what the sun is. Rumpus and yourself have admitted you don't understand what's going on with the mechanisms here. So the sun is a
do
point source
understand it.
reflection. We get to experience the light and heat from the sun via interaction, right, between the intervening medium, which for the most part is made up of water vapor, right? Water particles.
No. Pete, do you know how we feel heat from the sun, Pete?
Yes, I just explained why.
No, you didn't.
You did not.
Did I said we feel
come on-
heat and
no,
light?
how?
Hang on,
How?
visible heat.
How do we
You
feel
asked me a
heat?
question, Brenda.
How
Let's
do we
keep it
feel the
civil
heat?
again. Let's keep it civil because I'm only answering again on the back
I
of
just
ye
asked
saying
the
that ye
question.
right.
I am
Ye
being
didn't know
civil.
the
I
answer,
just asked
so
a
I'm offering
question.
up an alternative.
You don't have anything to back up your alternative answer.
Just answered how we get heat from the sun or how we
Well, how?
experience it as heat, Brenda.
I don't
Interaction between the
understand
sun's
it.
energies. Excuse me, please. Can I answer the question? Interaction between the sun's energies and the intervening medium, which for the most part is made up of water particulation.
That's gibberish. The way we
Why is it
experience
gibberish? Do you
heat from the
deny that the
sun.
atmosphere contains 30 million billion tons of water in its particulate or gaseous form?
That's irrelevant.
Deny that. Deny
That's
that.
irrelevant.
Excuse me. If it's irrelevant, hang on, please. Can I finish this, please?
It's
If the
not
sun is
relevant.
93
It's
million
not
miles away and
relevant
the
to
only
why we
obstacle it experiences between the Earth's surface and the infinite space or whatever, the distance between, is the Earth's atmosphere. If the Earth's atmosphere is composed with such a massive amount of water particulation, then it's not irrelevant, Brenda.
What's the connection?
Connection is that we experience the visible light and heat from the sun via interaction. It's not within the source itself.
How? How?
How? Because it's the light energy, the sun energy, which is a different source, right? Interacting with the water particulation, particularly in the air, the atmosphere.
Well, no. How?
This is how we
How
actually
does
get to
that
see.
translate it?
Brenda,
How?
this is
I
how we
want
get
to
to
know.
see.
I want
Listen
to
to
know
me.
how.
Right.
I
This
am
is how we get
listening.
to
I am
see when the
listening to you.
sun. I'm answering you. This is how we get to see when the sun comes back around. It interacts with the water particulation, scintillates it, and this is how we actually visibly get
How
to
does
see
it
the visible light.
interact? How does
Because
it interact?
the sun is the
And
point reflection. Think of it like a laser reflection
point
of a
reflect. No,
watery
I'm
barrier.
asking. How does the sun interact with water vapor?
What is it? How does a
I said-
puddle? How does a puddle? This.
I said.
Brenda, you asked the question.
I just asked
Pause
the
then,
question.
right?
No.
So
You
pause.
said.
Let me answer
you
it.
said no. Let me phrase the question. You said the sun. We feel heat because the sun interacts with the intervening medium and the water vapor that's in the air. And I'm asking how that works because so far you're simply restating it. You're not explaining the mechanism by which heat gets transferred from the sun to my skin.
Okay, I will do. Right. But okay. What I started to answer with was if you look at a puddle, we can't see the water sort of evaporating, right? But we know it's happening because the puddle diminishes. The sun is an energy, it's an energy frequency, right? Which interacts with whatever it goes through. In a sense, we can look at it like a laser. Luke Skywalker, right? Like a laser beam. Now,
So
it's that
Luke
interaction, that
Luke
energy
Skywalker.
vibration. Hang on, Brenda, let me finish, please. Let me finish. It's that energy vibration which interacts, a great agitator, which interacts
Yes, it
with the
interacts.
intervening
I want to
medium
know
to give us
how.
daylight. Oh, I'm
I
nearly
want-
finished. To give us daylight.
You said you just repeated the claim. You just said it interacts and you pointed to a puddle. I'm not a puddle. How does this heat get from the sun through the medium to my skin and give me a sunburn? How does that happen?
At the water, it heats up the water in the air, particularly
How?
the air itself.
But I
Yes,
can
it
get
does.
a sunburn.
I've gotten a
I can
hang
get
on,
a sun-
Brenda.
But I can get
Got
a
a
sunburn in
sunburn.
the desert. I can get a sunburn
Right,
in the
I could,
desert where there
right.
is no water
On the
vapor.
same point. On the same point, I went down to the beach where I was living in the west coast of Ireland here, and it was an overcast day, right? I came back black as the ace of spades, almost burned to a cinder. There was no sun in the air. I got burned because I was scalded by the water vapor being blown.
No, that's not true. You were scalded by the ultraviolet radiation from the sun.
I wasn't. I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
But
Yes, you
this
were.
is where you've
Yes,
heard
you
an
were.
alternative. Hang on, Brenda. If I go up in a high altitude balloon, then and I'm that much closer to the sun, and there's less resistance via the intervening medium.
So
my
your
face
explanation
should be scalded. I should feel the heat of the sun. If heat is an intrinsic property to the sun, right?
So your explanation doesn't explain why I get sunburned in a desert where there is no water vapor in the air. Where the air is
There's
dry.
water vapor
Why do I
everywhere.
get not in a desert?
Yes, there is. You just don't know it.
It's greatly diminished. It's greatly diminished. So
It
I
is.
would
It
get
is
less.
greatly diminished.
I would
Yes,
be
it is.
right. So
Still
I would
there.
be. So I would get. So I would be get less of a sunburn in a desert, but that's not true. Silence. I love silence. I love the silence.
But hang on,
I love the
you're
silence when they
juxtaposing,
can't
right?
answer a question.
There is always water vapor in the air, but the air is there as well. Another aspect to this whole reality is, why is nitrogen 70% of the air that we breathe? Where's this association made? Where is it coming from? It's the same question with the as flat earthers. Where are the saline waters coming from of the oceans, the Earth's oceans? These are all different questions. You have already given us the answer.
So you still
The reason we're talking about the sun, and hang on, Brenda, let me finish. The reason we're talking about the sun in different terms now is because, first of all, Rumpus and yourself both agreed that there were many questions that you didn't know regarding to the sun, our nearest neighbor, and also another question on the table from the new.
Do you see the photo that Baz Krish posted? Sunburn from a tanning bed. When a person goes into a tanning bed, they're exposed to ultraviolet radiation and they get a sunburn. That refutes your claim.
There's only one thing coming from the sun, and that's the sun's energies. Now, what is the sun?
This picture posted by Baz Krish refutes your claim, because that's a person getting a sunburn.
There was
they
air.
get a sunburn in a tanning bed.
There was air.
It's an artificial environment. That's been under a hot lamp of
Hold on, but yeah, there was
certain frequency. It's a lamp vibrating at a certain frequency.
So we know that ultraviolet radiation burns you. We know that.
Don't forget, Brenda, that you also have what in your skin? What are you made up of yourself, Brenda, to a degree, 70%, very close to what the Earth is said to be made up of?
70% water, a high degree of water.
Brenda, when your skin dries out, what happens, Brenda? Doesn't the water in your skin dry out?
Yes.
Thank you, Brenda. Now, if you have an energy source of a certain frequency, if you have an energy source of a certain frequency, which is bombarding your skin or a puddle of water, what do you think will happen to the water as a whole? Disassociate? Or will it particulate? Disassociation means, hang on, Brenda, excellent question here, right? Disassociation means breaking it down to its component factors, which is hydrogen and oxygen. According to you, this particulation would be to break it down into smaller pieces of water.
Yes, Pete. If I'm getting so much radiation that the water in my body starts disassociating and boiling, I'm in big trouble. Yeah, no kidding.
What happens? Your skin will turn to red, right?
Yes. My skin turns to red far before any dissociation takes place. So you still haven't explained how heat gets from the sun through the medium to the earth and to me and to my skin to give me a sunburn.
I say the sun is not. It's either hot or cold. It has a frequency.
It's obviously hot.
It's not. Obviously, and obviously the clouds disappear over when we're looking at them dropping. They're obviously disappear over a geometric curve, right, Brenda?
The sun is.
We can trust our eyes when something is obvious. We can trust our senses now, everybody.
Well, I can test. I can test it because I can go out from the shadow into the sun, and it's hot. You fucking moron.
Okay, but what if you go higher and get closer to the sun?
Hang on, please.
Does it get hotter
What
or
if it's in
colder?
Alaska, Brenda? Hang on, please. What if it's in Alaska, Brenda, in the height of winter, and you have a glaring sun? Fucking moron now.
The sun is close to the horizon. You're
a fucking moron now. Apologize, Brenda, because I just showed you
as much. No, you didn't. You're not getting as much exposure to direct sunlight.
Out of the shadow into the sun.
It's coming through.
It's coming
through more layers of atmosphere.
Hold on. Can I ask one thing? Let me ask something here real quick, Ranty. If the sun is the source of heat and you go higher, getting closer to it, why does it get colder?
Okay, so in order to do that, you'd have to calculate the ratio of how much you get closer, and then you use the inverse square law.
Okay, don't show me math, right? That's math. I don't need to see math. You're saying this is the heat source. It's hot, but I go up and get closer to it, and it gets colder. So
get closer is
how can it be heat?
Insignificant, absolutely insignificant.
This says you.
The reason why
even the flat Earth for a 5,000 kilometer, if you go high 20 kilometers, that's insignificant for 5,000 kilometers of the flat Earth sun. Not
so it's insignificant. It's insignificant, but it gets drastically colder.
I can tell you why. Okay. I can tell you why. It's because the Earth's atmosphere acts as a blanket, and it holds heat close to the Earth's surface. That's why.
Oh, so like the water in the air holds the heat.
Yes, the water vapor holds in the heat.
There you go,
yes.
Pete. Pete.
No,
there
but
you
that's
go.
not how the heat gets. That's how the heat is retained, because of the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. The carbon dioxide is one of the main ones. If there was no carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, Earth would be a snowball.
Well, the source of
Well, speaking of snowballs, hold on. Speaking of snowballs, somebody says in the chat, point out to Brenda that you can get sunburnt from snow.
Yes, you can, because you're surrounded by reflecting surfaces that will reflect all of the ultraviolet radiation coming from the sun, and yes, you'll get burned. It's the ultraviolet radiation that causes burns. That's why you have UV blocker sunburn lotion.
And how much carbon dioxide is in the atmosphere? Go.
6%.
Oh no, thank you. That'll do.
It's irrelevant. How is that relevant?
The 70% nitrogen. It's relevant. This is the air we breathe. This is our reality. I'll just say to people out there, flat earthers mostly, right? What do you most associate nitrogen with outside of the air, right? What do you most associate nitrogen with? No, you can give that answer. What do you most associate nitrogen with?
Laughing gas, right? Or
soil, right?
Fuel,
fertilizer.
Or soil,
yeah.
fertilizer. Yeah.
Everything connects. The tree of life is still all encompassing. Divided, right? Divided without, divided within. Right the hand. I heard you talking about on Ranty's last show about the difference between knowing and believing. And of course, we all believe there's a higher power. Well, there's other things.
No, we don't.
But we can't
don't
know
all
it.
believe that.
What degree?
So,
To what degree has the Creator, has the higher power given us the ability to piece things together? Right. This is the bigger
there's
question.
no creator. There's no creator. He's dead. We killed him.
Well,
Yeah, you better hope
Creator,
that.
no Creator.
We
Notice
killed him.
notice
We
the
killed him.
Creator, the most
Yes.
mysterious crater in the moon, the most mysterious object in our universe is named Crater Aristarchus. That's not the end of it. That's the beginning of it. Because that's flat earthers now. Now we look at the sun and the moon.
Jeez,
Now look at the sun and the
triggered.
moon as flat earthers have been the same size as not a cosmic moon.
Yeah, this is just gibberish. This is just pure gibberish.
Not gibberish.
So,
Oh, we
I
look
explained-
like
I
Ranty and
No one
explained
could
to you
hear it because
why-
you
Under we
talked
see
over
I
him.
explained to you why. I explained to you why we get hot from the sun. It's because of the ultraviolet radiation coming from the sun.
Does
Pete tried to
ultraviolet
explain it,
radiation?
but he couldn't. But he
Brenda,
couldn't.
does honest question? Does ultraviolet radiation need a medium to travel through?
No, light does not need a medium.
Well, then how do you measure it?
What do you mean? I have a detector and you can measure its intensity.
Is that detector a medium?
No, detectors aren't mediums.
Okay.
A
So
detector
a lens
would
or
be a detector would be
That's a
something
good
like,
point.
Like no,
I
a
never thought-
photoreceptor. A detector would be something like a photoreceptor, like in the camera in your cell phone.
No, medium is
That
an
has
object,
photoreceptors.
right? Like a
on
water is
a
a
similar
medium.
point.
Ice is a medium.
No, light does not require a medium.
No.
It
You
does
said
have a medium.
ultraviolet.
It's the
You said
quantum foam.
ultraviolet radiation.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yes, light does not require a medium. That's right.
How about heat?
Well, I just say on a similar note and connected, Brendo, you tell us that the atmosphere thins out as we go up until eventually to gravity there's only sort of particulates,
Right,
molecules,
because-
atoms hanging
right,
around.
right.
Yeah, hang on, Brenda.
Right,
Can I get the
because-
question, please? The question is following shortly. How on God's earth did those lone particulates, molecules, atoms, etc., down to as an ever increasing thickness of layer, how did they withstand the power of the sun all alone?
I don't know what you mean by withstand the power of the sun. That doesn't make.
So you
any
have the
sense.
sun
Because
coming in with all of its energies, all of its inherent energies, and yet you have these particulate, right?
Yeah.
The edge of the atmosphere
You mean-
hanging on
you
in
mean
there,
atoms?
staying in relative status in relation to the Earth's overall movement.
So what?
How did they withstand
I
that
don't see the-
energy? And you know well what I
What do you
mean.
mean withstand? No, I don't know what you mean.
Stand
because
as
it's
in
gibberish.
how is that particulate not bombarded and blasted by
Why?
this
Why
overwhelming
would it-
power of the sun?
Why would it fall
Because there's
apart?
no intervening medium now. It's getting the full force of it, the full brunt of it.
Well, it's not enough. It's not enough to break up what dust part. Are you talking about dust particles?
Get out of its orbit, to knock it out, to knock all of the
what are you
different
talking
layers
about?
out of their.
What are you?
Yeah.
Try to focus. What are you talking about? Dust particles, or are you talking
Okay.
about oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide?
Right.
Which ones?
Okay, let me just, and I know I've been speaking, so I'll definitely go on mute after this question. Just hear me out then. Very reasonable question. Nothing to diminish the sun's power after it leaves the surface of the sun on its pathway to Earth, right? So the only thing that can diminish it, because it's so hot at its source, right, can be the atmosphere of the Earth. Would you agree on that, Brenda?
Yeah, the light from the sun travels through the vacuum of space and arrives at the Earth. And when it hits something, it delivers
hot.
a large amount of delivers energy. Yes.
It's hot light,
So what?
right?
Yeah.
It's hot light. You said when it hits something, it delivers
No,
energy.
light-
That's my point. Is it hot light
Light
that's
has-
entering our atmosphere all the way?
Well, how much energy do you think ought to be delivered?
What happened to the
Hot
heat
aren't you,
from
Brenda?
the
Is it
sun?
hot light? Is this input light
Hot
from the
light.
sun imbued with this heat, this inherent
All
energy?
What happened to the
Okay,
heat
hang
just
on.
from the sun before it reached?
I have.
That's a question, right?
Hold on, guys. Listen, one sec. We've got Professor Phil Bell in the chat, and he's got a bone to pick with Brenda. He says,
I don't care.
"Sorry, Brenda. UV does.
Oh, wow.
UV does not produce heat. UV does not burn your skin. It irradiates the melanin in your skin. You can get sunburnt
Yes.
in the cold."
Yeah, Professor
okay.
Phil's right. That's correct.
Yeah.
Oh, so the
But
professor
that
now,
goes-
you're all humble,
Other
Brenda.
other wavelengths of the light deliver energy and deposit it on your skin, warming you. So
Such as
fine,
a
that's
tanning
fine.
bed. That's why when you come out of
I'm
a tanning
happy.
bed, you're orange. You're not red. You're orange.
Oh, brings back an interesting
I don't
question,
see
if
what
I just
difference that
may.
makes.
Can
So
I just say,
you were-
Brenda, regarding the
You
particular
were
individual
saying
light,
something else.
regarding an individual light ray that is traveling from the sun, is it imbued with all frequencies? We know that the visible range is a very narrow range, but do we just get to see a certain aspect of this departing incoming light ray, or do we get to see the visible aspect because of the source energy interacting with something?
I have no idea. That just made absolutely no sense. The
That
sun
makes sense to
emits-
anybody.
The sun emits virtually all frequencies of light, right? Except for certain bands in hydrogen and helium. That's how we know that it's made out of
Then-
hydrogen and helium.
The visible band,
then why
the
is-
visible
why
range
is
in which
space-
we operate.
Why is space dark?
Helium do not emit full spectrum light.
Yes, they
exactly.
do.
Hold on, Pete.
Then why
Hold on,
is
Pete.
space
Hydrogen and
dark?
helium
Why is
do
space
not
dark then, Brenda?
Space is dark because there's nothing in there to reflect light.
spectrum light. That's how we know
An
that
interaction,
So you
right?
only see light if it's reflected.
I can't hear anything because people are just talking over each other. So you can't see.
Well, stop
light
talking and then someone
in-
else
in-
can.
So
you
when
can't
the
see-
astronauts went to the moon, they shouldn't be able to see the sun because there's no atmosphere on the moon, nothing to reflect anything.
No, that doesn't follow.
But you
They
just
can see
said
the
you
s-
only see light
No.
because it's reflected.
That's not what I said.
Yes,
You can see.
but-
No,
Yes,
that's
you
not
did.
what I said. That's not what I said.
You said you don't.
That's not what
Space
I
is not
said.
lit up because there's nothing to reflect the light. So what? You don't
Correct,
see the light
correct.
if it's not reflected. So that is
So
what
that
you said
doesn't
then.
follow. It doesn't follow that because
Am I not
space
following
is-
your
is
head?
so it doesn't follow. It doesn't follow that because the sky on the moon is vacuum and you can't. It isn't lit up because there's nothing in there. It doesn't follow that you can't see the sun then. That doesn't.
How did the
follow.
light get
If
from
you
the
look at the sun
to your eye if there's nothing to reflect off of?
What are you talking about? It goes directly from the sun to your eye.
Oh, so your
Oh,
your
we
eye is
actually
the
see
reflector?
via the water particulate scintillation.
No,
Bombarded,
no,
like a puddle
we
is
don't.
evaporating. This is
No.
how we get to see water is
No.
reflective at its very core.
No, that's not how.
Yeah,
That's
how we
not
get
how
to
lo-
see,
That's
Brenda.
not how it works.
The question I asked,
That's
let me
not
just say,
how
the
seeing
question I asked
works.
was put very plainly, right? What we see in a visible band, which is a certain tiny percentage of the overall band of light, right? Now, is it that we just see this aspect that we honed in on it, or are we seeing an aspect of light because we're looking at the core thing through an intervening medium? My
that
answer
didn't
is
make
we're looking
any
at it through a
sense. That
medium
makes
which is
no
composed
sense at
mostly
all.
of 30 million billion tons
That's
of water in this
that's a
particular
question
form.
That's a question completely uninformed.
That's why the
by
stars
science
go
at
out
all.
when
It
we
actually
climb
makes a
above a
lot of
certain height
sense,
and the
Pete.
moon
Yeah.
shrinks
It's
to a
complete
dot.
gibberish. So the reason that you can see is because light is electromagnetic radiation, and it
No, you can see because
deposits
you've
a
got eyes.
photon. No,
The reason you can
deposits
see is
energy.
because you've got eyes.
That's
It
true.
That is
deposits-
the
it
truth.
deposits
That's just
a
the truth.
photon. It deposits a photon on your retina.
Yeah, but you don't see because of that. You see because you've got eyes.
So I just want people listening to notice.
Just say light
I
had
said
a shit on
something-
my retina.
I just said that we see light.
It's
because
a
photons
single photon,
hit-
right? How many photons does
It's
it
a
deposit
photon.
on my eye?
Just a minute.
How
Just a
many?
minute. I was talking.
How
I was
many?
talking.
many
Oh, we
photons?
know
we
you've
can see,
not
We
stopped.
can see because light hits a photon on your retina, and I received peals of
Just
laughter.
one?
So I want people
Light
listening
hits a
to notice
photon
that.
on your retina.
No,
Do you
that's not
realize
what
what
I
you're
said.
saying? That
I
is what
didn't
you
say
said.
that.
Oh my
Have you ever seen
god!
your
I
retina,
didn't.
Brenda?
You
How
literally
many-
what I
just
said.
said up. Oh
How
fuck!
many
No, I
You
didn't.
lying
photons?
No,
cow!
I
You
didn't.
did. Go back and listen
light.
to it again. You
No, I
actually
said
did.
light
You
is a
might have
photon.
misspoke. Fair enough, but you actually did. No, you said.
No, no, I didn't.
First you
Light is
said
a
that, but then
photon.
just then. No, just
Light-
then you
No,
said.
light
how
is.
bright-
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Yes, you
how
did.
bright-
Yeah, you
No,
did.
I
Go
didn't.
back and listen.
No, I
Go
didn't.
back
How
and
bright
listen
is
to it
one
again.
photon?
Yeah,
How
you
bright?
did.
How
Yeah,
bright
you
is
did.
one
Can I just
Yeah,
say,
you
Paige,
did.
Paige just invented a new swear
No,
word.
I
You
didn't.
lying
I said
coward.
light.
There she goes, Brenda.
No, I didn't. Light travels. Light travels as a photon, and then it hits the retina in your eye, and that's how you see.
How bright is that photon? How bright is it to make me see?
It has energy.
Okay, so it's just energy, right?
It depends on its frequency, how much energy it has.
What is the determiner of that frequency?
Frequency is that's just
The
what
determiner of that
frequency is.
photon frequency.
Frequency is the amount of energy a photon has.
What is the determiner of the frequency of the photon that just
How
hit
much-
my eye?
how
That you're
much
telling me how I
energy?
see, right?
The
Yeah.
determiner is how much energy it has.
Okay, and where does that energy come from?
It comes from the source, whatever emitted the photon, and how much energy
How
it
does-
had.
How does that
Right?
happen?
Right. So if your light bulb is 70 watt, right? There's 70 watts spent on emitting light from the filament. If your light is a halogen quartz light bulb, it's what, 1500 degrees or something like that. It has more energy, so it's more in the blue, which is more energetic.
How bright would that light bulb be? The 70-watt light bulb be?
Depends
how bright would that
on
be in
how much.
space?
It
space.
depends on in space what.
How bright would it be in space?
It would be the same brightness.
Okay,
depending
well,
on how much energy is going to it.
well, Phil Bell says you can.
this is like-
Hold on. Phil Bell says you can see because your brain recognizes wavelengths from 450 to 700 nanometers.
Yeah, but how do those things get to your brain? Through your eyes. If you don't have eyes, you need eyes to start with. You see because you've got eyes. Everything
Well,
that happens after that comes after that.
Yes.
But you
yes,
need
Paige,
eyes
you're
in
a
the
genius.
first place.
Yes, Paige.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
you're a
don't say it's
genius, Paige.
because.
You
Don't say you see
yes, you're Paige,
because.
you're a genius. You figured it out. You figured it out, Paige. You figured it out.
Thanks.
We see because we have eyes.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I can't believe I had to tell
you're
you
a
that.
Genius.
You said something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
a genius, Paige.
Thanks.
Wow. We should all
About
bow
time you
to, We
noticed.
should all bow to Paige, the genius.
Oh,
the
you can
genius
do
Paige.
whatever you want. If you
Figured
want
it
to
out.
think of me that way, that's great. Go for it.
Hey,
Yeah,
Brenda, where
yeah,
did the eye come from? Where did the eye come from, Brenda? Oh,
From the god we killed.
that's right.
The eye comes from Aristarchus.
How about the medium to interpret what the eye, the lens,
Well,
the input to that,
No,
right?
you should
Brenda?
ask Paige. Ask Paige. She's the genius.
No.
here.
She's right on the base level. She's right feet on the
No.
ground. You are flying around. You don't know what you're talking about.
And
with one question,
Prove
now
me
you're
wrong.
stuttering. You're stuttering a bit.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Go ahead.
Okay. You need eyes to see.
Here, boy.
You need eyes to see, correct?
Come here. Come on.
Can we talk about things that are more simple and yet we still
What's
argue
more
about?
simple
I
than
don't think you
having
can get
eyes?
more simple. I don't think you can get more simple than Paige.
Having eyes is pretty simple.
Yeah, reality is very simple. I quite enjoy things being nice and simple. It's really easy to understand.
That's right. That's right,
Yeah.
Paige.
Yeah.
You're a genius. You're a genius, Paige. You're a genius.
Thanks.
Yep.
You should
Thanks.
soundbite that page.
Yeah,
in fact, I'll soundbite that, and I can keep playing it on the show every now and then. You're a genius, Paige.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Go
It is
ahead.
one of the few women that are out here expressing strong and firmly held.
See, that just
points of
shows.
view.
Can I just say that
before you
just
can-
shows that Brenda will literally say something she does not think, does not believe. She will literally just keep repeating it,
spout it,
as though she's got a point. Like she's saying things she doesn't believe, she doesn't think are true, yet she's saying them. She's trying to be
Brenda will be talking
sarcastic
about
or
it
funny
if-
or something, but notice she does it all the time, even with things about flat Earth or things about the ball. She'll just rabbit on. Look, she's doing it now, over talking me, even though, you know, she's had 2 hours talking non-stop.
Well, hang
just
on,
think
Brenda.
about that, guys. She will say whatever.
Yeah, well, I
comes
want to ask
her
question.
head
I want to question.
without
I want to ask a
thinking.
question to Brenda. So, Brenda, do you think vaccines are good?
Oh, obviously they're one of the great medical inventions of the
Oh,
20th century.
fuck me.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
can you say
Chemtrails real, Brenda?
Can you say vaccines?
It's
Do
a
buildings
vaccine.
free fall,
Vaccine.
Brenda?
Sorry, say again.
Vaccine.
I didn't
Man
hear-
landed the moon.
Guys, be quiet. One sec. What did you say, Brenda? Did you say vaccines?
Yes, I did.
I didn't hear you say it. Sorry.
Yeah, I said it already.
Okay.
Yeah, she's not going to give it to you, Auntie. Hey, Brenda, I'll send you a video where a lady has read out all the babies, how old they were when they were aborted, whether they were male or female, and which vaccine their little body parts have gone into. I'll send it to you.
No, don't send me shit like that.
Yeah, it's gross, isn't
This
it?
is your anti-vaccine.
I'm not.
This is your
I
anti-vaccine
don't
shit.
want.
This is your
aborted
anti-vaccine
babies
shit.
in my body. Absolutely, I don't want
no
aborted
aborted-
babies' DNA. There is,
There's
and I can
no-
prove it.
There's no aborted babies. There's no aborted babies because you
Yeah,
saw
stick
a
your head
video
back in the
on
sand.
YouTube.
Stick your head back in the sand.
You
Can a
saw a
virus
video
live-
on
I
YouTube.
have a question. I have a serious
Can a
question.
virus live without a
No,
living
I've
cell?
studied it for years, Brenda.
You haven't studied anything.
I have a vaccine.
genius.
I have a
Viruses
vaccine
don't
hurt
live, by
child,
the
you
way.
fuckwit. I have studied
You
it for
haven't
20
studied
years.
anything.
Oh my god.
And you still don't know anything, and you still know nothing.
Okay,
So,
Brenda.
The
Viruses
virus
don't
needs
live.
Vaccines are the greatest medical advancement next to antibiotics.
Do you think that if you get a vaccine, are you scared of other people that don't have that vaccine once you've been vaccinated?
That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, it makes
If
perfect
you've
sense.
been vaccinated, are you still scared of people who refuse to get a vaccination? What don't you understand about that question?
Why would I be if I'm vaccinated?
I'm asking whether you're one
why
of these
would I-
people that would force other people to get a vaccine even though you're vaccinated.
She's safe.
Um,
Brenda's
I
safe. He's
think-
safe. Right?
I think that people who refuse to be vaccinated should be excluded from schools and other public places so they don't spread their sickness to other people.
Why are you worried about
I don't
getting
disagree
sick
with
from
that.
somebody if you've got a vaccine? If you've been vaccinated, why would you be scared of anybody who hasn't? That makes no sense.
That's not why I would do that.
Well,
That's
then
like
why?
hung up
What
on the
other reason than
Well, what
that
would-
you're worried that they're going to make other people sick? But if you don't want to get sick, just go and have a vaccine. That's fine. But
Let's
why
not get hung up
exclude
on one
me
of
from
them,
school or
Paige.
from public
There's
places
many
if
conspiracies
you've
that
been
Brenda will not
vaccinated?
align with.
So
That makes no sense, Brenda.
The virus doesn't come from people. right? The virus doesn't come from
Paige.
people anyway. It comes from bats. So,
Paige.
you know, you should be not scared of bats.
T, right?
Viruses come from lots
Batman.
of
B-A-T man.
So I just want to ask. I just want to ask Paige. You've studied this for 20 years. You got offended when I said you didn't know anything. So what do you think is the reason?
I don't get offended by what you say, Brenda. Sorry.
What did you've studied?
Said
this
something
for-
offensive. Please don't bring up any of that shit, Brenda. You shouldn't be tolerated. That's why you're a
So-
nameless, faceless agent of deception. You'll always be the
So
bad
you-
apple.
Yeah,
in
Brenda
the
should be
pile,
banned
wherever
from
you're-
every Flat
welcome.
Earth show. She does nothing
So-
but
Okay,
be
well let's
nasty and
let's hear the back and forth.
I just want to ask a question.
Let's hear the back and
I
forth.
just want to ask a question.
Let's hear the back
I
and
just
forth.
wanna ask-
Yes, let's hear the back and forth
Yes.
between Paige and Brenda, please.
Paige asked why I would be concerned about people who are unvaccinated. So you've studied this issue for 20 years, Paige. What do you think that people who are pro-vaccine would answer? Why do you think they would? What answer would they give?
I'm not divining other people's thoughts, Brenda. Sorry.
But you've studied this for 20 years. Surely you know.
Yeah, and
what
I
the other-
refuse to divine other people's thoughts. They can tell me their feelings. I'm not going to tell you what they feel.
Well, this is publicly known. It's stated by doctors and scientists why people who are unvaccinated are a risk to the rest of
How many
people.
people?
What is that?
How many
reason?
people die from?
I was
let's say, some
asking Paige a
common-
question. I was asking
some
Paige a
common-
question.
Yeah, and I
was
answered it.
asking-
Some common viruses.
I
right?
answered it, Brenda. There's
How
no
many
point
people die
asking
every
again.
year
I've
from
answered
common
it.
viruses?
I will not divine other people's thoughts. You can ask them. I'm not pro-vaccine, so I'm not going to tell you what they think.
But what they tell you what you think because it's in the literature, and you've studied this for 20 years, and you're telling me you don't know why.
No, I
doctors
know
would
what they say.
that-
Yeah, I know what, but I'm not going
What?
to.
Brenda,
I'm not going to say what they think, Brenda, because I'm not pro-vax.
Every year from the current strain of
Heaps.
influenza.
So
Two
what do
people
they-
died of
not
measles,
what
but
they say.
104 died from the vaccine. Two children died
Exactly.
from measles, but 104 died from the vaccine. I'm sorry, but I'd rather not give them that vaccine and let the two kids who died from the measles die rather than the 104 that died from the vaccine. Like,
So
really?
What is the reason? What is the reason that doctors give for why people should be vaccinated?
Money,
Herd immunity.
Yes, there we go. That's the answer
Yeah.
to your question.
So what I would give my answer to that would be, if you need herd immunity, you're the one that needs to be excluded. Not everybody else. Forced medical procedures have no place in a free society. Plain and simple.
But
I'm going to force you to change back to a man, Brenda. I'm going to force you to have surgery because I don't believe that your worldview should be tolerated. So I'm going to force you to go to hospital and have surgery, turn you back into yeah, exactly. Good luck with vaccinating me.
Yes,
fucking
good
mole.
luck with that. Good luck with
Yeah,
that.
good luck with vaccinating me.
The reason is because we don't know the people who are going to get the virus in the future, and so we vaccinate everybody because we don't know.
Forced
who is
medical
at risk in the
procedures
future.
have no place in a free
It's not
society.
It's not
It
forced.
is. You're forcing me. You're forcing me
No,
to have
it's
a
not.
vaccine.
No.
Yes, you are.
No, you just are not. No, you're just not permitted to do certain
Yeah,
things.
so you're forcing
That's
me
all.
via not permitting
That's-
me to
no,
do other
you're
things if
making
I
the
don't do
choice.
it. Damn
You're
right
making
I'm
the
making a
choice.
choice.
Your choice.
Damn right. It's
making-
my
you're
choice.
making the choice not to
Exactly.
exclude-
You
Yes.
want to have your choices, we're
other-
allowed to have ours.
And
That's
and
all
other
there is
people-
to it, Brenda.
And other people are making the choice not to have.
Okay,
your
this
disease
is
passed on.
this is a
they
very
can.
hold on.
If they want a vaccine, they can get one.
Hold on, this is a very controversial comment here
They
from
don't want your disease around.
from Professor
They don't
Phil
want
Bell,
your
who says Professor Phil Bell
I
says
don't have a disease.
Page,
So
Page,
You
Professor.
are, if you're not
Right.
vaccinated, you're
Right. I just muted those two guys, right, so they're done for now. Right, listen, Professor Phil Bell says nobody has died from a vaccine since 1961. Stop bullshitting at Ranty. Now, I haven't said anything. I've let these guys talk. But you think nobody has died from a vaccine since 1961? I really want to get some comments from the panelists on that particular question. Or that particular topic.
You don't know. You don't know anything, Pete. Why don't you go back to drinking your own piss?
Right, does anybody think that nobody's died since 1961 of a vaccine?
That's so ludicrous, Ranty. To even think that nobody's been affected or died from a vaccine in that long is just, that's so sad that he thinks that without even a quick tertiary search will show you. Like,
no, YouTube is not a source. YouTube is not.
I didn't say YouTube. I never said YouTube.
Websites are not. Yes. What juried scientific publication are you referring to then?
There are heaps.
No, there's not.
Okay, if you want to think that, that's fine. There's a big court case going on at the moment about the fluoride in the water. Actually, I think in America.
So this is. I want people listening to understand. This is flat Earth. It's rank paranoia, delusional thinking, conspiracy thinking. Fluorides in the water, anti-vaccine, 9/11.
Well, you don't think there's fluoride in the water, Brenda?
Factors. This is flat Earth. This is flat Earth.
And ball Earth is just letting anybody do anything they want to you.
This is
don't
flat
think
Earth.
for yourself.
This is flat Earth. This is flat Earth. Delusional,
hey Brenda.
Paranoid people. Delusion. Yeah, absolutely.
Brenda.
Absolutely.
Hey Brenda,
children should get MMA.
Child abuse.
Children should get MMA.
Child abuse.
It's
hey
not
Brenda,
child
when,
abuse,
when,
it's child abuse.
Yeah, oh yeah, it is. Absolutely. You can't
is-
talk
this
to
is
my
flat
son
Earth.
and tell me if it's not child
This
abuse.
is flat Earth.
Hey Brenda, when
This
and
is
why?
flat Earth. This
When
is
and why
flat
was
Earth.
the first vaccine ever given ever, and to what species was it given to?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Okay,
It doesn't matter.
Obviously,
Oh my
it
God.
was given to livestock. It was given to cows.
Yeah.
Cows,
So
right?
what? So what? What is
Okay,
that?
and that
What
was only
relevance
that
is
was only
What does
that
that
was
have
only
to-
to
what does that
stifle.
fucking
It was
have to
only
do
to
with anything?
stifle.
This is
It
the
was only to
psychiatric
stifle
ward.
the fact that they walk
This is the
and eat
psychiatric
in their
ward that
own
is flat
shit.
Earth.
That's all it is.
But
This
you
is
haven't
the
even
type
looked
of-
at any of the information.
One at a
Brenda, so how can
time.
you
One at a
know?
time.
Flat Earth.
People, calm down. One at a
This is the
time.
psychiatric. This is the psychiatric ward that is flat Earth.
You know, can I just say to Brenda that unfortunately
told you
we
what the
have
sun is.
become.
I told you what the sun is.
Okay,
I told you
listen.
what the sun-
Listen, I want
You
to.
don't know anything.
I want to address Professor Phil Bell, guys. He made a claim that nobody has died since 1961. I've just brought up the first result, and I typed in "died of a vaccine." So this is from the ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. So it's a government paper. Here we go. In 1976, concerns in the United States about a possible influenza pandemic involving a virus similar to the deadly 1918 pandemic strain resulted in a large-scale vaccination program of the entire country. Approximately 45 million people were vaccinated in 10 weeks with what became known as the swine flu vaccine. The US government abruptly stopped the vaccine program when no swine flu cases were detected outside the military base where the disease originated, and when the unexpectedly high number of cases of Guillain-Barré syndrome were reported in vaccinated individuals. The vaccine was estimated to have caused approximately 1 Guillain-Barré syndrome case per 100,000 persons vaccinated, resulting in 53 deaths.
Yeah, very funny about that.
Very
And Bill
much.
Gates also got kicked out of whatever that country was where he's vaccinating all the babies for polio or something. He's been taken to court. He's not allowed back in that country to do any medical stuff because he killed so many babies.
No, just because people are paranoid, just because people are ignorant and paranoid.
Well, it's
doesn't
not.
mean
It's
anything.
not paranoid. It's not paranoid.
Yes, it is.
So we're not
Ignorant
allowed
and
to be.
paranoid.
So we're not. How is it ignorant to know how many people have died from vaccines, and why
they
is it
haven't.
paranoid to not want? You just
Because
heard.
they haven't.
You just
No,
heard
you
him
didn't.
read out.
No. We
You're
didn't do
gonna
that.
you're gonna deny what Ranty just read out.
Brenda, do you
document.
know that when you get vaccinated, you're actually
Oh,
a
fuck
carrier.
me.
You're actually a carrier of whatever you're being trying to.
No, that's not. You can't transmit it to other people.
Okay.
That's true. Because the vaccine is
Let's get back to the sun.
Yeah, I agree,
the
Pete.
vaccine is dead.
Let's get back to the sun.
Because the sun is a gigantic ball of hydrogen and helium that's undergoing.
Yeah, we know mainstream. We
nuclear
know all this,
fusion,
Brenda.
fission.
We'd like to talk about what else it could be. Yeah, we do. We went to school too. We got the same
Can't
schooling
be
you
other-
did.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yeah,
It
we did.
can't be
Everyone went to public school.
It can't be. No,
Yes.
they're not.
Yes. Shut
They're not
up, Brenda, for fuck's sake.
They're not conflicting. They're not conflicting. They're not conflicting. Pete.
Oh my God, Ranty.
Yes.
They're not conflicting.
How can I assist you, Paige?
I'd love to hear what Pete's saying.
No, that's not true.
Oh,
Pete
fuck.
It's not
isn't.
true. It's just the same gibberish.
Is all the way within an extended Earth's atmosphere.
It's
I
just
say in
word
encoded
salad
terms.
gibberish.
Yeah, they
This is how we get to see the
push
moon.
atmosphere out.
When the intervening atmosphere disappears, then the moon itself diminishes.
This is just word salad gibberish that has no.
Then shut up, Brenda.
at all.
Like, go
No.
away. You don't have to be here. You don't have to listen to him. You know, just let the people who want to listen to him, who want to be here, who want to be on this show and talk to each other, let them do that. If you don't want to, fine, go away.
Right, she's on mute, Paige. But do you understand? I think, you know, when they present the awkward after moon landing press conference with Armstrong, they could have choreographed it in a much more professional and convincing way. All of the errors, all of the statements, I think, are loaded with clues for us. We'll ultimately make our way through the fakery. A dog with a mallet. This is how we know Brenda is disingenuous, because the clues, the ISS bullshit is so in your face. You know what I mean? You'd have to be a fool
It's
or
hard
someone involved
not to see that they're doing it on purpose.
Right. So if that layer has been made so obvious, well, then is there a deeper layer? And I say yes. Well, it goes back to the nature of the skylines and how we actually get to perceive them.
I have a question for Pete J. Hey, Pete J, it's Aaron, Face One.
You do, man.
And this relates back to Brian Lakey. You know, as you get higher, you know, in altitude from the Earth, the moon seems to, you know, in videos that I've seen, seems to get smaller and smaller. Now, I would argue the opposite. I'd be like, hey, from the ISS, as you get closer to the moon, it should be
shouldn't it look
a
bigger?
full window shot, right? As you get closer to it, should be a full window shot.
Yeah, so that says the medium we're looking through, the water in the air or whatever, is magnifying whatever we're looking at up in the sky. Yeah.
100%. And water is a great magnifier.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And here's an excellent question, and this is for flat earthers as well. When we look at a crescent moon, right, or any phase of the moon, and we all know about a rainbow, moonbow, right? So when under particular circumstances, maybe like whimsy cloud or around the moon, you get to see a full circular rainbow with all the colors in its full form. Now, globe earthers can't answer it, but as flat earthers, if it's in its crescent form, half moon, full moon, it's always the same moonbow, which is a full moonbow. So it's definitely a question we should think about. I have thought about it myself, but yeah, for me, everything goes back to just reflection, right? And ultimately, as flat and stationary earthers, everything seems to move in unison on a daily, nightly basis. A possible singular earth source to everything.
How come on the ISS, and we already know the answer? We see from the what do you call it, the cubicle or the fucking orbit
capillary or
the
something.
the thing they view the Earth from, right?
Crapulo.
How come they never view over? They never view over to look at the moon and zoom in or zoom out. It's up to them. I've never
The
seen
moon.
a shot of the moon from the ISS.
The moon was up in the sky here yesterday afternoon. We had an absolutely gorgeous day. No clouds in the sky, just beautiful blue, and it was about a third gone, the moon, and the craters were blue. And at night time, when you look at the moon, the craters are black because they're supposed to be just like the shadowing of the crater, aren't they? So why does the shadow depend on what color the sky is around it? Like how does the shadow in a crater turn blue when the sky's blue?
Well, that's a question, and I think you know my answer, Paige.
Yeah, it's see-through.
Well, all craters are one crater.
It literally looks like they're see-through.
Well, yeah, exactly. We're dealing with a reflection, and of course, when we get to beyond a certain point, even if you send a high-altitude balloon up in the broad daylight, at a certain point, 60 or 70,000 feet, the sky is no longer blue; it's black. So if we think in terms of a reflective screen, but we mightn't have done this, but it's an excellent sort of little experiment to do. Not experiment. End up a balloon, right? Altitude balloon, knowing that it gets to its highest point at, let's say, 3.5 hours into flight, coincide that with the point of a full moon being as close as it can be to you in your own particular location. Now, we know how vivid and how wondrous and how close the fucking full moon looks to our vision on the ground. If we rise up, and as Aaron just suggested there, and we're naturally a big ball in the sky, it should get magnificent in our view as we rise. Why hasn't anybody done that? I think I know the answer as well. From the earliest of times, since the military could send up high altitude balloons, record the footage, they knew that there were observer dependent reflections, and they shrank, if not vanished, as we rose up, and that's why the stars are said to be there sometimes and not there other times.
Not only that, every high altitude balloon, at least from damn it, what's his name, the
Kellum.
Dwayne Kellum, for sure. Every time it goes up, and I don't see his launch time or his peak altitude times because I'm on my phone, so I can't see it. But the sun is always off in the distance. It's always far away.
Right.
Now, what if he launched at noon or launched early, like you said, 3-hour raise time?
Right.
And I want to see that sun casting a shadow straight down onto his balloon, right?
Right.
Or
Excellent.
Ish.
Excellent.
But you
And
never
great,
see that.
yeah.
It's always far away. You can always see it far away.
Personally, I realized maybe 4 years ago now, we're dealing with a mirrored sky from different, the way you pick up different pieces of information along the way. We're dealing with a reflective sky. And when it comes to arguing with Brenda or the Rumpus here, or Professor Phil Bell, or the Crow-X here, they're all in a team. We have to realize this, that we back one another, going back years. They're on Dempenda's server. Excuse me, this is just, I've been in this arena for 4 or 5 years.
Copy each other.
Or as
So we got to realize that. I'm sure you can sharpen your wits against them,
you can shut the
but
fuck
also
up.
there's questions as
Don't
to
talk
what
about
actually
me.
is.
Don't talk about who I work with or
we're
who
just
I know.
people.
I don't
We're
associate
just
with
people.
anyone. I don't
Yeah,
care
we're
what you
just
think.
people. We're just people who have an interest in this, Pete. You're paranoid. That's all there is to it.
Okay, let me ask you one question, Brenda, and I'll piss off then. Best of your knowledge, because it's such a fundamental consideration, when was the Earth we stand on, right, that we live on, first proven to move scientifically or otherwise? The way all theorizing up to that point could be validated, and all future theorizing when we get to what's beyond Earth, solar system, the universe at large, could proceed with due confidence. Can you answer that, to your knowledge?
I didn't hear the first part of what you said.
Okay, I'll just repeat it. When, to the best of your knowledge, Brenda, was the Earth, because it's such a basic foundational consideration, was the Earth first proven, scientifically or otherwise, to move the way all theorizing up to that point could be validated, and all future theorizing to matters beyond could continue with confidence?
Okay, I couldn't say for sure. One of the earliest, most convincing, was the demonstration of Foucault's pendulum.
Okay, which is only 150 years ago, and if you look into the paper, it proved no such thing, Brent.
Well, it does.
That note,
it does.
I'm
You're
going to leave you
wrong.
to
You're
it.
wrong.
That's the basis of your. That's the basis of your
Go ahead.
mind at this stage, right?
let
that's
her,
your point.
hey, Pete, just let her claim that until say, okay,
Yeah.
what's the claim?
Foucault's pendulum shows that the Earth rotates.
Well, okay, can you describe the experiment or how it happened? Or
It's a pendulum, and it precesses. If
what's
the Earth was
what's the
not
pendulum?
spinning,
What's the pendulum attached to?
It's a pendulum. It's a pendulum.
Okay,
right?
what's
And
it
it's
attached to?
What's the problem with understanding what a pendulum is?
Talk us through it. Talk us through the proof of
a
the experiment itself.
pendulum. Since this is confusing, a pendulum is a large weight at the end of a string or a wire
Attached
of
to
some
what?
sort.
Attached to what? Space or
it's attached to something.
My knob.
Well, how is that relevant? You just attach it to the building, right? To a strut, to a timber, to
And
some
so, what's
part
that
on a
supposed
building.
to be proving? What's the Foucault pendulum supposed
the
to actually
fact-
prove?
The fact that it precesses shows, and the fact that you can determine your latitude using a pendulum shows that the Earth is rotating.
So, is it a proof of Coriolis or just
It's
rotation?
conservation. It's conservation of momentum.
Okay,
a
listen.
pendulum.
Linda.
A pendulum on the equator would not precess.
You sure about that?
Does the pendulum having conservation of momentum, does it swing forever?
No.
But
no, it
what does
doesn't.
conservation of momentum have to do with rotation anyway? I don't understand. Like, I can understand why saying Coriolis shows rotation. Yeah, sure,
Coriolis
But
Coriolis is the conservation of momentum.
Based upon what frame?
You really think that?
That's how it's defined.
So
Based
what?
upon...
That's how it's defined. So Coriolis isn't just
Coriolis
a
is
spinning
defined as the conservation of momentum.
conservation of momentum. Yeah. So I have to
That's
really
it.
slow down and try and think in the way that she's thinking to try and figure out what she's actually saying. And sometimes it takes a minute.
No worries.
Coriolis is just two reference frames. You've got one that's spinning, then the other thing something has to lift off that surface, has to leave that reference frame so that you see an apparent deflection. There's no actual movement, no actual needing of conservation of momentum or anything like that, because there is no actual deviation. It's because you're standing on something that's spinning around in a circle.
Yeah, that's all wrong. That's what you've learned from Nathan.
What?
And Nathan has
Oh
it
my
wrong.
God. No.
That's all wrong. It's all wrong.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Test
my
me.
God.
If you're a flat earther, you're wrong about everything you say. That's your own bloody definition. That's the generally accepted definition, Brenda, for goodness sake. Right, can I just ask one question before you go? This is to everybody as well. You talk about conservation of momentum. Can you calculate, Brenda, theoretically, the amount of momentum you possess standing still right now on the surface of a ball Earth that's traveling at, let's say, 700 miles per hour, where you are at in terms of latitude, and also 66,000 miles an hour around the sun itself traveling at 660,000 miles an hour around the central core. Can you calculate how much momentum you are in possession of, even though, of course, we'll all agree that we're absolutely still, or it seems. That note, I'll leave you. Thanks for the link and thanks for the chat.
The question was really confused. I have no idea what he even asked.
Hey, Pete, before
Can you calculate how fast we're moving, even though it feels like we're standing still, is what he's asking, basically.
Well, we're traveling at 15. We're rotating.
Yeah, he just said all that.
The Earth is rotating.
So he's asking if you can calculate that. He's asking, not can you repeat how fast we're going.
So if I'm standing still on the Earth, then I'm moving at the same speed as the Earth is rotating. And
If I'm
moving at the same
standing still, I'm moving. Wow.
Those are called frames of reference. With reference to the Earth, I'm standing still, but the Earth is rotating and it's revolving about the sun, right?
So how do you go about proving that?
How come your
Like,
head
instead of
isn't
just saying
following
it?
that pendulum? Like, how come
So
your
the
head? How come
pendulum
you're walking right? You're walking straight, but you're not just leaning left, just like the pendulum, right?
Huh?
Okay.
I didn't understand the question.
So you're talking about a massive
Do you notice
wave
how
swinging
if
back and
anybody
forth?
asks Brenda a question that's a little bit out of left field, something she hasn't read in a Google paper or whatever, she always answers, I don't know what you're talking about, or I don't understand what you just said.
I didn't
Anything
hear
that's a little bit off. If she hasn't rehearsed it in her brain, she can't come up with an on the go answer and an off the cuff answer. It has to all be recorded in her brain from her schooling. She has to have read it in a little document or something. She can't just think for herself outside of that.
Input problem.
No,
Input
Paige.
problem.
It's because you stomped on his sentences before he could even complete them, Paige. I couldn't hear it.
Okay, so Brenda, if I'm standing
Brenda, I'm
next
talking
to that
about all the other times
See?
as well.
Just like that.
Like you do it
See,
all the
just like
time.
that.
Brenda,
She has no
and Paige.
respect. She has no respect for you. She has no respect for you.
Brenda, if I'm standing next to that pendulum, right? I'm just standing there, and you get to see every hour that your swinging ball, kind of deviate. Do I feel like I'm leaning more on my right foot, like I'm following that pendulum swing, or do we just stand there?
How long does that take?
You tell me.
It takes hours.
It's your experiment.
Since it takes hours, the forces are much smaller than what you would be able to feel.
The force is much smaller. Oh my God. Okay.
Right. So
But,
there is angular momentum with Earth as it rotates, but it's very small and smaller than what we are able to feel.
It's decipherable from a swinging ball from a timber.
Because over a long period of time,
How long?
right?
How long?
And
like Pete said,
it takes hours. It takes hours.
Hours.
It takes hours. Yes.
Hours to do what?
To trace
Hello?
out.
Brenda,
Go ahead, Pete. What? That was my fault.
It takes.
Brenda,
That was John.
Brenda,
Be quiet.
I just want to
Be
know
quiet.
if you know. Okay.
It takes
Be
hours
quiet.
to do what? It takes hours to do what?
It takes hours for the pendulum to precess.
So it doesn't do it immediately. It doesn't start processing
It
immediately.
takes time. It takes time. It's very slow.
How much time? How much time?
I don't know the exact amount of time.
I've
Okay,
just
so you've never
seen
done
live
the
streams
experiment.
with the
You've actually
pendulums
never done it.
showing they don't process at the speed that they should and all this kind of stuff.
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
No, that's what we're talking about, the Foucault's pendulum. She's shown that it doesn't work the way they say it should. So,
Paige, on a
they're all
basic
live
level,
streams.
Paige, on a
no
basic
respect for
level,
you.
the pendulum itself should just start slowly swinging, slowly. On a basic level, it should just start slowly swinging. If
No.
it's
No.
yes. So why do we
No,
have
it
to
shouldn't.
start it? Why do you have to start it?
In order
The
to
motion
give
is already there, Brenda. The motion
No.
is already there.
If
Yeah,
it's at-
the motion of the Earth is already there.
No. Try to focus.
So it's not.
If the pendulum is at rest, it's not going to move.
But the Earth's
Why not?
moving.
Why not? Then
So it should.
Coriolis. Then there is no Coriolis.
No, that's not true.
Right.
That doesn't follow. Again, that doesn't follow. If we give it some energy, it has momentum.
The Earth should
and
give
then
it the energy because you're trying to record the Earth's
Why?
movement. So, because that's
Why?
what you're trying
Why?
to record. Why are you recording the energy you've put into it? why aren't you recording the energy that the Earth's put into it as the
Already
Earth's spinning?
have,
The Earth isn't putting energy into it; it's at rest.
So, yeah, so you're not
Apparent-
proving Earth spin.
apparent
You're just
deflection.
measuring the energy you've put into it.